First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you could never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for upNXT. You found us at postwrestling.com, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever podcast app you're used to using. And it's Tuesday, 10:05 p.m. Eastern, which means we are
live on youtube.com/postwrestling. Hello, YouTube room. How are we doing?
Hello, everyone. Hello, all the postmarks from Post Wrestling worldwide. And hello to all the NXT friends. And tonight we pour one out for many. On
a lot of people, yeah.
People, titles, we're pouring it out for a lot. Lots of main roster call-ups. It's call-up season, main roster season. So there is lots to talk about in the land of NXT as it is the new year. So you may have celebrated a little bit of the bubbly on New Year's Eve, but happy New Year's Evil, because we're going to talk all about WWE NXT New Year's Evil with some title changes, some title vacations.
Oh yeah.
And a whole lot more. Very interesting times in the world of NXT. But yes, lots to talk about tonight. Very exciting. Or maybe people are upset. We'll have to see.
I'm sure there's always someone upset. You know, there's usually people upset. But yeah, we'll be getting into it all. I think like new year, new me, new NXT. I think we need some changes, and it's about time we out with the old and in with the new and all that. So we'll be getting into all of that today. But of course, as always, we have some plugs to get through as well. Braden, just I'm not sure if you're on. I'm hearing a lot of like thumping on your mic. Just check what one you're on. But yeah, we've been busy over the holiday period. We've still been pumping out lots of shows. We've done our. If you're still feeling in the festive mood, we've had all our festive shows. We did Home Alone 3 with the great John Pollock. We had our annual Christmas holiday party show, which was a hell of a lot of fun. We also did our review of Touchdown, a Bills love story for you NFL Hallmark Christmas lovers out there. But we're busy. It's the start of a new year. As I said, out with the old, in with the new, but we do have to put a stamp on 2025 before we can fully get into 2026. And that's what we're going to be doing starting tomorrow.
Absolutely. This is a big week for us, actually. So we love to talk about the year that was at the end of the year, but we like to make sure we finish the year before we talk about it. Like AEW adding World's End right at the very end of the year really adds, like, you know, talking about more wrestling and stuff. So here at Post Wrestling and Poisonrana, we like to look at stuff a little after, and we have tons of best and worst of 2025 shows that we have in the next week. So it's going to be a busy one for us. We are going to be joining John and Way on the Post Wrestling Patreon, the Post Cafe, because we are once again invited to join John and Way for the best and worst of show at Post Wrestling. So we're making our lists and checking it twice. Davie, you're not going to wait till the last minute. Like,
of course I am. No. Of course I am. Yeah.
I made my note document today. I was like, all right, so we are recording in 6 days. On Monday, we will hopefully be live in the post office, a return, the BDE, Poisonrana, returning to the post office next Monday to join John and Way live in studio for the best and worst of. Very excited about that show. Cannot stress that's always the big show every year for us. Not talking Paul White. I'm talking the categories we take very seriously at Post Wrestling. So very excited about that.
Yes, I've just opened the list up now. I think it's, we say leave to the last minute, but I think there's a whole lot of these that you can fill in. Maybe you're torn between one or two options, but you can fill in most of them quite easily. But man, there are some stinkers as well, which always really make you think.
I have a hard time. I block out and forget the stuff I hate. And I remember the stuff that I love at the end of the year. So it's really easy to remember like favorite moments or matches for me. But thinking of stuff I absolutely dreaded, I need help. So anyone who's like, oh, this was something from 2025 that was awful, feel free to share in the Poisonrana Facebook group or DM us or whatever, because definitely love a refresher. I'm going to be looking back this week on a whole lot of wrestling. But it doesn't stop there, because we do a show on our feed, Poisonrana. And if you don't know who we are, well, search Poisonrana podcast in your social media or podcast app and give us a follow and check out some of the stuff we got going on. But we do a show, a two-parter every January. We have a little show, a ditty we call Best Match Ever, where we nerd out, review, rate, and go through best matches. And every January we go through the best of the year that was. And this year we're going to be looking at the top 10 best matches of 2025, a two-parter. The first episode being from the number 10 to 6, quick math. And then the part 2, 5 to 1. And we go through as voted by the Poisonrana community. You created this whole voting system, and then me and you put some points in as well. And then we put it all together, and we have a definitive list of the best matches. So very excited to do this show. We really nerd out at the stuff we loved in the year that was.
Yeah, this is the most responses we've ever had from this, which is very cool. Almost 50 votes for the best match ever, which is great. And the voting is now closed. It is a very interesting list. I'm the only one who actually knows the full order. I always like surprising Braden a little bit. We know what the top 10 are, but how they're landing is very interesting. But we'll be starting recording that tomorrow and hopefully get part 1 out for you tomorrow night. And then we'll be recording part 2 on Sunday. And we might even throw the link up for patrons as like an unlisted thing. So if you are a patron and you're interested in joining in the discussion, keep an eye on your Patreon inbox, because we'll be sending the link so you can come and join us for that as well.
Yeah, we're recording tomorrow, so I've been catching up on some of my top matches of the year for the lists and stuff that we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Now I don't know some of the order, but I have been watching some back. So some Will Ospreay, some Hangman, some Moxley, some Kyle Fletcher, some Io Sky. A whole bunch of wrestling in there. So we're going to be all over the place. WWE, AEW, New Japan, and so much. So this is always a fun show, nerding out about some of the best matches. But you get those 2 shows plus all the other shows in the back catalog. We've done other best match evers featuring, certain wrestlers or match types and so forth. So go check that out if you haven't already, because our Patreon is only $5. We're 2 independent podcasters, and you want to buy us a beer, buy us a coffee. It is how you can do so and get a whole month's access of podcasts out there. Hundreds of shows in that Patreon, but it's always my favorite, like talking about the year that was and whatnot. So that was really fun. We just did a big show. Now we have lots of free shows too. And if you want to, dip your toes in the Poisonrana waters, well, again, search us, because we just dropped our Wrestle Kingdom 20 review, where I was crazy enough to stay up and watch Tanahashi retire. And then we talked all about it, plus everything else kind of going on in the world of wrestling. But what a match that was. I'm still buzzing about Tanahashi. He can finally sleep. He's allowed to be tired now, Tanahashi, but he did not give up. And I'll always remember that.
Yeah, you can listen to our full review of that. Just search Poisonrana wherever you get your podcasts. We talk in depth about New Japan and Wrestle Kingdom, but we talk a bit about Dynamite from the week as well, and SmackDown, Raw, etc. But Braden, did you have a chance to catch any of New Year's Dash, or at least the news coming out of New Year's Dash?
I mean, okay, we're going to talk about NXT, famous last words. We're going to get to NXT soon, but I said off the top, we're going to pour one out. Is something we do here on upNXT when either someone is released from NXT or when someone from NXT moves up to the green pastures of the main roster. And we're going to be pouring a bunch out because it's a new year, new NXT, like you said. So we're going to talk about that. But we got to pour one out for the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
No
I wasn't sure what way
enough.
you were going there. There's two things we could pour it out for. But
what else are we pouring one out for right now?
Well, the Butterfly Divas IWGP title.
Oh,
as well.
Right. Of course. Now we're two big things coming out of this. So I'm not quite sure or understanding, but doing the quick maths, the Bullet Club is no more. It's kind of like the War Dogs are still a thing, though, right? So,
well, the War Dogs have joined Suji's new stable,
so it's like
I believe. Yeah.
who
are the
Unbound?
Unbound, is that what they're going by?
Kind of weird, but better than Five Guys.
Unbound Company. Okay.
The Unbound Company.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Bullet Club no more for now.
Suji, Hiromu, Shingo, and David Finlay, Clark Connors, Drilla Maloney, Gabe Kidd, etc., etc. So,
hey, New Japan, we talked about it. We were really high on some of the maybe the main 3 matches and the women's match, especially from Wrestle Kingdom. We were pretty high on, especially Tanahashi Okada. And I hope with such a big crowd and a really big audience, apparently they played it on TV later on, and it got really good, eyes on it. And hopefully that's the new push in the new direction that New Japan can stick with this momentum. But as we said on some of the undercard, there was still a lot of the same old New Japan things that they fall into. So hopefully they can get some momentum. There is a lot as WWE gets as popular as it is right now, wrestling gets popular as a whole too. There's so much more eyes on stuff, but them announcing US dates, the G1 stuff, something at WrestleMania weekend as well. So hopefully they can ride the momentum. And I mean, going full in with Suji is a babyface really in Japan, because on this Dash show, he beat Takeshita, who they didn't really seem to like anyways, because they felt like he was an AEW insider. Japan really thought, the New Japan audience really treated Takeshita like an op. They were like, we know you got in here from AEW and we don't like it. And then, even though he's amazing, and I think that match maybe proved it, but Suji in one day brought back the best wrestling belt ever in the history of wrestling belts, the IWGP Championship, and then also ended the Bullet Club. So really, they're really going to bat as him as the guy right now in New Japan. So
yeah, I found I'm hopeful. I think it's a good move. It does feel a little fresh coming out, seeing the news coming out from sort of New Year's Dash. Also intrigued by Ospreay and the United Empire. Ospreay coming out saying he's not cleared yet, but when he is, he wants to try and get the United Empire back together and get them to where they were before. And Callum Newman not seeming particularly happy about it and sort of teasing a chair shot, which Hanare stopped. I find it interesting because, that we've had those comments from Suji where I know with wrestlers, you always go, okay, what is in character? What is out of character? I believe with Suji, it might be a little bit of both, saying, really, what has New Japan got out of this AEW deal? And maybe now it's AEW giving back a little bit. Like if Ospreay can come in to potentially put over a Callum Newman and try and elevate Callum Newman. Similarly, if Okada comes back, like Suji to be the one to defeat Okada at next year's Wrestle Kingdom or something like that. I think it has been a bit, they had this partnership and then AEW took all the big stars and New Japan's been struggling. And a lot of that has been New Japan's fault as well, like not being creatively inspiring and not really going full throttle with some of these newer guys that you really need to have ready and in place. But it feels maybe this, like the Ospreay thing might be giving back a little bit and trying to elevate some of these other guys.
Like, look, they let Kenny wrestle last year. I mean, I don't know if it's he's allowed to do that sort of thing, I guess, if he wants, but like Ospreay then allowing himself to come back, Okada, like some of the big guns from that kind of era that were, big stars that then left. And that's where I guess the gripe is there. But every January, like I thought last year when I watched Kenny and Gabe Kidd, I was like, this was great. I'm going to now watch a whole lot more New Japan. And I didn't. And there's only so many hours in a week that you can spend watching wrestling. And with the addition now of 6 years of AEW, a lot more attention. Like that's, you know, the North American company that I tend to gravitate towards. And there's a lot less of New Japan, but I still cherry pick and this and that. So I'll say it again. I hope to watch more New Japan in 2026, and hopefully they can ride that momentum. And I'll also say, I hope one day, it might not be 2027 or 2028, but one day a Poisonrana Wrestle Kingdom karaoke party outside the Tokyo Dome one day. We're going to do it. We're going to have to do it. A lad's trip to the Dome, because it looked like so much fun every time I watched that, and I need to get back there. But it looks awesome. We talked all about the show on Poisonrana Live on Sunday, and love that stuff. Hopefully that they can get some momentum. Like TNA starting soon with AMC TV. We got WWE.
Is that this Thursday?
Is that this week?
I think that's this
next week. I know they have a pay-per-view like next week as well, but yeah, I feel like it's maybe next week. Yeah,
is it next week?
Like whole lot of wrestling all over the place. AEW, WWE, obviously, and like
yes, the 15th next Thursday.
Right. Okay. Cool. So yeah, wrestling firing on all cylinders, and it's awesome to see. And as always, support your local independent wrestling companies as well. Did you
catch any of Raw last night in the Upside Down?
Yes, I went to the Upside Down. I was so upset. Okay, I definitely I was gonna watch it, and then everyone, my friends talking to, is like, yeah, Raw was very like it didn't hit. It was disappointing. So I shamelessly will admit I watched the YouTube Raw videos to catch up on Raw before NXT, and like, okay, you to kind of start, I guess, Io and Rhea winning the tag titles. That's great. We definitely predicted that they're a really hot act right now, especially even together. Single stars, sure, but think of the breakup and eventual like big rematch as maybe Rhea desperately wants that win over Io. So I think that's a positive that I saw from what I saw. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think we've been talking about how they've really developed the women's tag division on the main roster. Like it feels at the moment like the main division of the women's division, more so than the women's title, which was weird with Stephanie Vaquer coming out in her boots and sort of teasing that she was maybe vacating it, but didn't. And then the angle with Raquel, I could potentially see Raquel beating Steph for that down the line. But yeah, I thought that was a pretty fun match with the four of them. Just Rhea and Io, it's been nice. It's Rhea especially, I felt, just dominated the title picture for so long. And I think doing this feud now, and it's always when someone is as popular as Rhea, you don't necessarily want to turn them because they're, merch movers and huge stars. But I think down the line, another Rhea and Io feud with Rhea being the heel, having never beaten Io in singles, it writes itself. And whether that's Mania this year or this tag team continues further than that. But I think when that eventually happens, it will be great. And I quite enjoyed the tag match. I thought the main event was interesting.
Was it Upside Down?
It felt very like the Bron Breakker Ciampa match at the beginning of 2.0, where you look at Bron Breakker and you go, like there's some really great stuff about this guy, but some real green moments. And they played that in the Ciampa match where he slipped, I think from the same spot. I think it was that Frankensteiner, if I remember correctly, and Ciampa capitalized. Now we had that spot happen where Bron slipped in this match, and it allowed Punk to take advantage a bit, but they eventually just went back to the spot, which I think was kind of a mistake because it just showed you, that wasn't meant to happen, it was a pretty ugly match, but I still like Bron Breakker. I think there's sometimes something I quite enjoy watching about the ugliness of it, like Brock Lesnar back in the day, where just destroying people. But I am watching this match thinking about, the Ryback CM Punk stuff, and how happy was CM Punk about being thrown around and hit by this Steiner.
Side note is, Is the Ryback figure still in your butter drawer in your fridge?
No, he's.
Oh, you took him out. Okay.
Yeah, I had to make room. I got more butter. Yeah, but
we had the Christmas party stream a few weeks ago, and I don't know, we got a little too rowdy because then the next time I came over to your house, Ryback was in your butter in your fridge.
Yeah,
but yeah, I thought the match was like from again. I did see the slip ups, and I'm wondering if that tope where Punk ate it. Like, did he hit his head? Did that maybe cause what happened in this match? I'm not sure.
I feel that was after the Frankensteiner, though. Like, there were quite a few ugly moments in it, which sometimes I don't mind. Like, it is meant to be a fight. Like, fights shouldn't look pretty. But I think with someone like Punk, who just wears his emotions so visibly, you could kind of see him being annoyed during the match. And it wasn't all Braun either. Right. Like, he was slipping up as well. Even at the end when he won and he like grabs the title, he drops the title. I don't know. It seemed like one of the first glimpses we've had of angry Punk, I found, since going back into WWE. And maybe I'm reading too much into that, but I'm sure at his age, he's not necessarily thrilled about getting hit quite as hard as Braun Breaker can hit. But yeah, were you surprised by the result with CM Punk winning?
No, especially with imagine winning on a match like that. Like that would I feel like his time will come. I feel like there's a bigger time for Braun Breaker to shine, and maybe there's more story and not rushing it, you know? Like,
I think the good thing is, like, similar to what they did in NXT, you can sell it as Braun's just, you know, he's great, but he made rookie slip-ups that cost him the title, you know, that sort of thing.
And then he gets fixated on winning. He has to win it eventually. You could go back, like we definitely were talking about, like, where we think we're going into Rumble season soon, and then we have WrestleMania. And like we were talking about on Sunday on our show, that the big match WWE could do is Cody and Punk. But right now, how do you get there if Punk?
They seem literally two different shows right now.
So that probably can't be the right direction. But then there's also Seth hopefully coming back in time for WrestleMania, then the Royal Rumble as well, and Chris Jericho, of course. So like, he didn't show up, and maybe he was stuck in the upside down. He should have came out as Vecna or something. But definitely didn't like what I saw from Braun Breaker and CM Punk. I thought it was a little too messy, and maybe I was expecting more. But I
think Braun will be champion this year. I think he should be champion.
Sure, absolutely.
This year. But, where you go, obviously, we're trying to move the pieces into position for Mania. I think this is one of the first years in a while where I can't see any clear direction right now. I think we're going Cody Roman 3. But apart from that, it's really open in the air. Obviously, it depends on Seth when he's healthy to come back, how long he's out for. But I really can't put together a sort of card based on what's happening so far.
Yeah, I guess the Rumble will definitely, hopefully, show us a little clarity of where we might be going. I don't know if I want Roman and Cody 3 necessarily. Like, it's not the most exciting, but
I feel that's where we're going, though. I think they're trying to make it like this generation's Rock Austin, that kind of thing. They're one apiece at this point. You had the moment at the end of War Games where Roman's like, "We're done. We're not doing this again." That kind of thing.
But like Endgame was WrestleMania 40. Like, so now we're doing Doomsday with Roman Cody 3. Well, I guess no, because they're still playing the same people.
Well, unless you get a Cody heel turn.
Well, maybe this is where, I don't know if Cody turning heel is necessarily a big thing, because Roman is kind of heelish as well. But maybe that's where Stone Cold shows up. Finally, where he's like, "Oh, sorry, I missed the last one, but I'm back now." So maybe that's something that could happen. But I don't know. Like, Rumble season, always excited to watch the Royal Rumble, even though kind of thinking back, I always hype myself up. And as everyone loves the Royal Rumble, it's like got to be the most popular event of the year. And then we're always disappointed if there's no real like big surprises or this and that. So I know that we'll be disappointed, but I'm always looking forward to it. And if you are in the Toronto area, stay close to this space, because we will be announcing a Rumble party in the very near future. So very excited.
You have to tune in on Sunday. You have to tune in to Poisonrana Live.
Absolutely. We will be live this Sunday at 2 p.m. We'll be talking all about everything from WWE, some SmackDown, some AEW, and so much more at 2 p.m. And then later on in the day, we will be doing our part 2 of Best Match Ever for the patrons. So very excited. Lots of podcasting. Poisonrana.ca for links of everything that we do. And I mentioned things being busy and talking about the year that was. We are also going to be featured making my return to TSN Radio because Davie and I are joining our friends Randy and Eric from The Draw on TSN 690 next Thursday. I believe you can stream this live at 11 p.m. The Draw, Randy is doing this whole new radio show for TSN Montreal and invited Davie and I. We sat down with them yesterday to record this, a whole hour of John Cena talking because we do the Champ is Here show. So we are John Cena experts from covering so much, way too much John Cena.
I must admit, I really did feel like that. Like you don't realize, like, other people study for exams, can tell us all about the Roman Empire.
We just don't have lives,
or business and economics and all that. And it's like, just hit me with a John Cena question from any of his first 13 title reigns, and I got you.
Yeah. What does your brother do? What's his profession? What does my brother do? They have actual jobs.
He's like head physio at a hospital, and
my brother helps like disabled kids in schools. And I talk about John Cena.
I feel I do the same with this podcast, but
yeah, our moms definitely had Tylenol. That's all I'm saying. But we are John Cena experts, and we are going to be on TSN Radio next week. I think the audio will be available afterwards on replay and in other TSN networks. So we'll talk about that a bit more next week. But very excited. January 15th at 11 on TSN 690. The return to TSN. Very excited. Your debut on TSN. Look at us. We've been on CBC. Yeah. We've been on News Talk 1010. We're collecting all the Infinity Gauntlet. We did CBC. That was pretty fun for WrestleMania 40. That was
that's right. In our
Airbnb
Philly house with 14 stinky men.
Smelly men.
Just gonna record for the news quick.
Very excited. Yeah. That was fun. That was good times. We have a lot to talk about with NXT, and appreciate the people in the chat because I see a super chat from Jake from the Windy City who sends in a super chat saying, "Gents, not just Happy New Year, but Happy World Cup year. It's looking to be a crazy summer in this continent." Yes, Davie, are you going to go to a World Cup game?
Probably not, unless I win the lottery before then. But yeah, it's going to be fun. Just being in the host city and being around all the people. We're going to have a lot of tourists in town for it. And I'm debating, a friend of mine is renting a Winnebago to drive around the States,
RV.
to follow England around. So might join him for a leg of that. But yeah, I'm super excited for the World Cup. And it's pretty cool. Like, I'm now a dual citizen. I can be rooting for two countries. England and Canada this year, which is going to be pretty fun.
That's right. Well, maybe you will go to a game. Who knows? Maybe you do win the lottery. Then I'm going to go to a game with you, I guess. But
if our patronage increases by 100%, maybe I'll go. Yeah.
Well, hey, you want to help support Davie going to the World Cup or support all the wrestling journeys that we get up to? Again, $5, patreon.com/Poisonrana. We are also planning on going and checking out AEW Dynasty in Vancouver. So, hey, anyone out in the West Side, let us know, because we're going to be making our way over in April for A-Dubs, and we might want to karaoke too when we're there. Maybe we do something before the show. It'll be earlier in the day because of the West Coast kind of thing, or maybe an after part. Who knows? But let us know if you're in the West Coast and you're going to be making the trip, because we are planning that. And then, hey, even jumping ahead, where the Brits at? Where the Bruvs at? Because like you were sending me flights for London, Wembley season. Got me thinking about that. Are you
Flights
all in?
Looking all right at the moment.
Are you all in?
They're cheeky, those flight companies. They're like, oh, you spent all your money at Christmas and New Year's. You're kind of poor right now. Okay, let us drop our flights prices. And you're like, fuck, well, I can't buy them now, but that's a good price.
Oh, well, we'll take a look at those. But yes, that's foreshadowing, but definitely looking ahead to that too. So maybe we'll be all in it, bruv. One more time, perhaps. But yes, very excited. Again, follow us on all the socials for everything that we do. We do a whole lot more than just talking about wrestling, but we like to see people in person and appreciate everyone in the post wrestling and Poisonrana community, our friends and family out there. Peace and love and happy new year. But let's talk about some New Year's Evil, because it is New Year's Evil, WWE New Year's Evil, from Tuesday, January 6th. Oh, I forgot. It's January 6th. So weird. Oh, that's why Jericho didn't show up last night. He was a little busy, I guess, preparing for a big party today, I guess. But the Rumble, though, the Rumble's going to happen. Well, we kick things off at NXT New Year's Evil. And oh boy, we have a lot to talk about when we get to the end of this show. But we got to get through this show to talk about where it leaves us in the middle of the ring. Oh boy. But we kick things off on the perch with Booker T and Vic Joseph. They are very excited. Booker T, I'll get it out of the way, is on one tonight, and he is very hype. He says, when our opportunity knocks, you got to what, Vic? You got to answer. That's right, Vic. Are you ready? And the crowd is hype in Winter Garden, Florida. And we have a great video package showcasing some of the title matches here tonight. But we kick things off with our North American Championship match. The new champion, who won by mistake, you could say, Thea Hale, is defending against the person she won the title from, Blake Monroe, in the rematch here. But as Thea makes her entrance, first, I should say the champion should always come out second, but I guess this is why, because she's attacked by Blake during her entrance, and then she's thrown in through like the barricade and just beats down on her and attacks her leg here. And now all the jobber cops and the refs and the doctors separate the two of them, and the match is called off.
Wow.
What happened? Why?
Yeah, there's some strange things going on with this Women's North American Championship, but
First, I don't
match
know.
completely called off and will not be happening. Blake Monroe does not get her rematch tonight. But yeah, I don't mind this. I always like something kind of chaotic to start the show, just like, jumping in, whether it's like a match right away or this kind of angle. I didn't mind this. But I did feel, on the other hand, we had a lot of Thea Hale tonight.
Yeah. Well, NXT just got raided, so we'll have to get used to seeing double duty. Like we saw a lot of double duty tonight. But yeah, match is called off. But as it's like called off, Ricky Saints music hits, and out comes Ricky, who looked very nice here, I gotta say. The snake skin leather pants. Davey, why don't you get a pair of these pants? I think you could pull these off.
Leather just irritates me a little bit.
I couldn't even imagine trying to wear leather pants.
I don't like when people have a leather couch. It's just sticky.
Yeah, true. But there's something about snakeskin. They're really nice. Like, I had a pair of like snakeskin chucks that I never wore, and I think Shaheen had them, which doesn't make sense. But yeah. Wow, snakeskin. This was very Lenny Kravitz of him to wear. I feel like he would wear that kind of thing, or Prince or someone. But out comes Ricky Saints in the snakeskin pants, and he has a microphone. He goes, well, I guess that match is on pause. So while that's happening, I guess I thought I'd come out here and talk to you. You see, last year I needed NXT, but this year NXT needs me. Javon, Trick, they all left, and others. They chose free agency, but it's because they're scared. You cannot compete when you don't compare. And I am who I say I am. So he calls out Leon Slater and Oba Femi, because Oba, there is still one apiece, and I want my rematch. And I'll take that title back from you, and that is absolute. So calling his shot he says, Leon, hey, if you do win, like, good for you, and I'm going to see you, and I'm going to come after you. But Oba, I'm suspecting you win, and I want my rematch. Which is cool, but you're not going to get that rematch.
Do you think this was almost deliberately to
throw you off?
Swerve us a little bit, throw us off?
I guess.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, we're going to get to that North American segment later, but who else is there? Like just
right.
Oba should have left and just put the belt right back on Ricky's shoulder, because
why did we even take it?
I know, like, man, there's just
Ricky, not enough tornado DDTs.
Yeah, like, is it that they really wanted just Oba they wanted that Oba Cody match? I don't know. It's a little bizarre.
So weird.
We've
said this like recently too. I think I even said, like, I don't know if it was last week or a few weeks ago. It's like all this talk of seeing the NXT people on the main roster, and again, like little bit of this, little bit of that. Like NXT, we are used to them either releasing people at a drop of a hat, and then like just drop the character cold, no references at all to the name of them, and that's it, and that person's gone, or they mess up plans in NXT to make call-ups when they don't necessarily even have things maybe set in stone. So they've done that quite a few times. So I just find it odd that they just flip-flop that title and they're doing things like this.
Yeah, in hindsight, you just had Ricky cheat to win against Oba Femi in the rematch. He's a heel.
The match could have been tonight.
You can have the match with Javon, because Javon isn't happy that Ricky did it in a dirty way.
He's gone. He's gone too.
Yeah, like whatever. Like it's just very odd. But I look at the roster now and it's like, man, just put the belt back on Ricky, because there's no one. And I think we're going to have a tough few months. I feel we finally built up this men's division a bit, and it's just gone crashing down.
Yeah.
Which is like, I don't regret, like, of course you're going to move Oba Femi up. Of course you're going to move Javon up. But like, man, it's slim pickings, the rest of the roster right now.
Like, NXT, who do we get? Sonata?
Jeez.
We'll talk about that later, maybe. But yeah, new year, new season in NXT. But Ricky Saints calling his shot for Oba Femi, which we probably won't get. But we go backstage. Ava is with Mr. Stone, and she is frantic and chaotic. She's like, this show is already a mess. We're 10 seconds into the new year, and it's chaos. And she says, well, that match is off, but we're going to put Izzi and Tatum first. So go find Blake. And she grabs, hey, you, and grabs this guy's headset and goes, Tim, it's Ava. This match is now first. And Izzi and Tatum is now up first. This was very Ava digging deep for Kurt Angle on Raw on the walkie-talkie vibes. Am I wrong? Very in
just
the same,
always looking at the phone. And
no, when Kurt Angle was like, they're here, get everyone. Where's the reinforcements?
The funny was when it was Braun Strowman destroying the production truck, and Kurt Angle just goes hands to head. Oh no, that thing is worth $500,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Ava's mad, and hopefully Tim knew what to do that Ava calling the shots, because that match is next. We go to commercial break. When we come back, Ava is backstage again, and she finds Blake, and she's like, Blake, what the hell? I tried to help you. And she's like, what? You asked for the glamour, and that was the glamour, and it's the return of the glamour. She goes, no. She goes, well, it's okay. Just give me the title shot again. Give me the match now. And she goes, no, because you did that. You're not going anywhere near that title now, because you are banned from the building. And Blake reacts shocked, like, what? I didn't even do anything. She's like, yes, you did. And Blake gets very upset and walks off because she's banned from the building for attacking Thea Hale. And who knows, maybe she went to the parking lot, which is a dangerous place here in NXT, or maybe she just left the building and walked all the way to the main roster. Who knows? I guess we'll have to see. Or not on NXT. But yes, banned from the building.
I mean, I could completely see Blake Monroe moving up. Yes. Sorry, we've been watching the other person versus Toni Storm for our best match ever show.
The woman from hell, yes.
But yeah, I think the fact that they didn't put the title immediately back on her tonight, I kind of feel she's on her way up. I feel it was a very easy opportunity to just reset and go back to how things were meant to be. The fact that they haven't done that and we've gone in a different direction, I feel maybe her time is to move up.
I mean,
and the women's division's fine. Like the women's division in NXT is fine. You can lose a few of these top women, and you still got Kalani, you still got Sol Ruka, Zarya, Lola Vice, Tatum, Jacy, Fallon. Like the women's roster's in fine hands, I think.
For right now, until there's even more like call-ups, and then that just forces, they have Evolve and this LFG, and then athletes from different universities that they can bring in or whatnot, or AAA now with the stuff there, like TNA. Who knows? There's plenty of new talent you can shuffle into this TV show, and again, it is developmental. So the goal of this show is hopefully they are ready to be even bigger stars on bigger shows in WWE. So hopefully we do the show. We cover this for Post Wrestling of NXT for a while now. And it's always great when you see people that we watch and then be like, oh, this person should be a star. And then it happens, it's kind of like, as fans, we watch these people grow up and evolve in a way in our living rooms for our entertainment. So it is always fun watching these people go and seeing what they can do. And I know that other wrestlers, as much as fans are always like anti-WWE, anti-AEW, like the whole like tribalism, like the wrestlers themselves are not like that at all. Like they love to see each other succeed. And I'm interested to see like a Blake Monroe and Jordan Grace. We were talking, wasn't she supposed to be in Thea Hale's corner? And then obviously that she showed up on SmackDown. And then like she's a free agent too. So that means in these terms, I guess that means you're going to SmackDown or Raw. And so like, that's kind of weird because pour one out for her, I guess. Like,
yeah. And I think that's overdue. I think if they didn't give her the NXT Championship run, just move her up. Like it's fine.
Future WWE Women's Champion for sure.
Absolutely.
Like, her wrestling, Jordan Grace, the wrestling will definitely speak for itself. When new eyes are on her, you'll be like, whoa, she can do some crazy stuff. So
it is odd how they did the Javon call up because like my roommate asked today, like he was like, did I fall asleep? Like Javon got called up on Raw? And I went, no, so they did this as like a commercial break segment, I believe.
Yeah.
But I guess whatever territory you're in, sometimes you're getting the promos like with Byron during the commercial break. Sometimes you're getting a commercial for Stranger Things and Cricket Wireless. And I was seeing like my Netflix didn't show this at all. And then I look online and other people had the same thing. I saw someone tweet, why did other people get to see Javon get signed to Raw? And I had to just put up with watching Jey Uso yeet for Cricket Wireless. Just really weird.
So Javon Evans signed to WWE Raw. Pour one out. Never got that NXT Championship that he was going off after. Like that was the whole story last year.
Yeah,
and we're just going to drop that. He just won the Iron. I guess.
He'll beat CM Punk at Mania. There we go.
Like he is 21 years of age. He has been our favorite in the last few years. So he is definitely one to watch, and we will be watching. And he's exactly what I was saying. Like I'm excited to see this guy become a star at 21. Give him 2-3 years. Like this guy could be on top of WWE at the rate he is going. Like at 21, he's already like light years ahead of a lot of other people. I think they got something with him. And tonight we're going to talk about Leon Slater versus Oba Femi. Like he is 21. Like how long is his contract in TNA? They got to be putting him on the main roster so that he could be the one going after Javon Evans because of this whole relationship and the match and the tag team and stuff. So I don't know. There's some cool stuff there. But yet again, the NXT roster they're graduating. They're leaving us. So that means the next generation, the next class have to come in. So we will see what that means. But we go to our next match, the opening match, Tatum Paxley versus Izzi Dame. This is a grudge match between Tatum being kicked out of the culling, them screwing her out of the title, and then these two having a match. Izzi won, and now we're here at the rematch, but this time Izzi is doing it alone. No Sean Spears and no Nico, or so we think. But we get a video. It was pretty cool, showing Tatum, very spooky. Lots of maggots. Maggots kind of creep me out, though. They're really gross. But
it took me back to the WrestleMania match against...
Oh,
Randy,
don't even. Oh,
the worms
right.
And maggots.
Right. The worms, the sperms, whatever Randy Orton came out to. Was that the same? That was a different WrestleMania, maybe.
No, that was the same one. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Just checking. I should say Tatum had this cool, like purple gear. Very, I think the crowd were chanting the Addams Family song at Tatum. I don't know if they were chanting that at her or Izzi.
What, do?
Yeah, because she kind of dressed like Wednesday, I guess, but like purple, kind of Daphne from Scooby-Doo purple, but very nice. Tatum is beating down on Izzi. She's angry at her, obviously, in this grudge feud, and she attacks the leg and works a single leg in the corner and is beating down on her. There's an enziguri and then a very nice cartwheel kick from Tatum, very nice. And then Izzi starts fighting back and gets up on the top rope with a flying code breaker. And then they go to picture in picture when there's a chop block, and Booker T is going off about chop blocks. And Vic is like, hey, I know you're a Hall of Famer in your whole career and everything, but have you ever seen a DQ from a chop block? Please stop. Like, stop it. And he's like, no, I didn't say that. And then they kind of bicker, but it's the picture in picture commentary. You know, it's like when Taz and Excalibur sing and stuff. But we come back there. This is when I think Vic ends it with a Nancy Kerrigan joke. Is that the figure skater who got the chop block?
Oh,
you know about that?
I have no idea. No.
Tanya? I think I'm on something there. Yeah.
Right.
When we come back, Izzy's in control. There's a backbreaker and then a Boston Crab. You know, Boston Crab's real hot this week with the big
Suji and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's calling for Chris Jericho to return with these Boston Crabs. But eventually Tatum gets to the ropes. They start to fight up top. There's a Spanish fly from Tatum, which looked good. And then they go face to face. I thought they were going for, you know, headbutts here, Ishii style. But instead they get back up. There's slaps and chops and then a big boot from Izzy for a 2 count. Izzy then hits a nice sit-out doctor bomb, which I thought was good, but Tatum kicks out. And then there's a really cool, like the Braun breaker. Now I know Braun and Izzy seem to be an item, and this is Izzy hitting one of her partner's moves, the backflip into the cutter.
Yeah, which I haven't seen Braun do for a while, so maybe he's just passed it on. But yeah, this move's great.
She should use this as her finisher. Like,
I think so.
Cool, yeah. But Tatum kicks out of that, and then there's like a spear onto the apron, which they both take a little bit of a spill there. And then back in the ring, Tatum hits the almost like the scorpion kick or a Liger kick, and then goes for the 450, but kind of messes it up. Like, didn't get all of it. I guess his
knees crushed her with it, right?
Yeah, maybe just miscalculated it, but seems to get up without missing anything and hits the cemetery drive and pins Izzy to get her win back from this feud and maybe hopefully be done with her. But of course that won't be the case. But a fun opening match. I think it was the right amount of what was needed from this. But I like Tatum, and I'm thinking that after her winning the NXT Championship, like, she could be someone you bring up to the main roster, because what really is there left to do in NXT? But I don't know. What'd you think?
Yeah, I quite enjoyed the match. I thought they wrestled like they hated each other, which I liked. Like, there were some sloppy moments, but that almost came out of like the scrappiness of the fight. I think Tatum might need a new finisher against bigger people, because I didn't think Cemetery Drive looked quite as good on Izzy, who's obviously very tall. But yeah, I thought there was some good stuff. It's just so glaring to me when we go to commercial break, right? And especially a match like this, which they were kind of throwing a lot at each other, and then you've got the headlock in commercial break, and it kind of just brings you down when you're watching the whole match. But I didn't mind it. I preferred this to their last encounter.
Yeah, I think this was a better match, and I think we will be getting a rematch down the line, maybe for a title.
I think
we
so.
Shall see. Yes, we shall see. We get a vignette for. Okay, am I getting this name right? Leo. Oh no, my spell check is completely messed this up. It's not Fleo LaFleur. That can't be his name.
That's what I have.
Fleo LaFleur.
That's what I've got written down. Fleo LaFleur. That's a mouthful.
This is we see this guy in a mask and there's subtitles, and he's speaking in French, and he is talking to us. He said that he helped put French wrestling on the map in the last 10 years. He's proved his value on the independents, and he wants to continue and bring his heritage from Paris to the USA. The White Eagle is ready to take flight, and he is a French luchador. So very excited to see Fleo LaFleur. Sounds like a hockey player.
I'm seeing Elio LaFleur, but my autocorrect put Fleo as well.
So both of us are just talking about the wrong guy here. Yeah.
Elio Lafleur.
Yeah. Okay. So Aigle Blanc, who is his former name. I know he did a lot of like WXW and stuff like that, but a young up and coming.
The White Eagle.
Yeah. I mean, fuck yeah. This is, we talk about our favorite independent promotion over here in our city in Toronto is Demand Lucha. And we see characters like this every week when we go to these ones. So like a French luchador. Yeah. All right.
Absolutely.
I'm in. Hey, is this like when what's his name? Phantom came in? Is this going to be like an eventual
Santos?
Because he did wrestle with the mask in the independents, or is it going to be of like a Sami Zayn situation where maybe he takes it off for WWE? I don't know.
I prefer he keeps the mask on because I think there's something interesting about a French luchador. Whereas as soon as they take the mask off, he's going to be wearing a beret. He's going to be smoking cigarettes and drinking red wine and eating croissants, because WWE can't help themselves. So
right.
I think it's refreshing because, we haven't had that many French superstars. I'm not talking like French Canadian, but just French. And WWE does tend to put them in stereotypes. So I think it's kind of refreshing. I'm interested to see what this guy's like. Definitely an interesting look, seeing the long hair under the mask and all that.
So you're saying if they take the mask off, he could just bring back La Resistance?
Yeah, he'll just become generic French guy, I think. Yeah.
Sylvain?
Yeah.
Sylvain was in the news recently. I forget what was he in the news for.
There's always NXT legend Sylvester Lafort as well.
Sylvester Lafort was the Legionnaires.
The fighting money-making Legionnaires.
Yeah, people listening, you don't know. We know NXT ball, okay? You don't know what we're talking about? Get out of here. We know NXT because we do a show called Was Next, and we're going through old NXT. We are NXT experts, as well as John Cena experts, apparently. But the money-making, what is it? Oh my God, I'm messing up the name myself.
I think it's the fighting money-making Legionnaires. I thought that
best names ever. Worst names ever, but best names. Sylvester Lafort. Bring him back as his manager. I bet he still has. I think he shaved his big head of mane of hair, but I think he still has enough on his chest for his head because he always had that greasy chest hair. But he was a French superstar with Marcus Louis, right? Yes. And then he shaved his head on NXT TV.
Hey, spoilers!
Whoa, sorry. Yeah,
we're getting there pretty soon. Actually, I think the hair versus hair match.
But a French luchador, I don't know. I'm in already. He's probably sick. If this guy wrestled, I am not familiar with him. I see he's wrestled at the 16 karat gold tournament, WXW, and in All Japan. He's been around the block, so he'll probably be pretty exciting to watch in NXT. So we shall see. Coming soon. What's his name again? Leo?
Elio Lafleur.
Elio Lafleur. All right, that's
I prefer Fleo. Fleo Lafleur.
Furio Lafleur. We need a Furio. We have soon. We're gonna have the League of Nations in NXT. Tony D's back. Is Tony D a free agent? Come on, man. What's going on with that?
I mean, he was at the end of the show.
Tony D was at the end of the show.
One of us always misses him. He was staring at the vacated title.
Oh, did I turn off the TV too early? What do you mean? I just saw Oba retain the title. What are you talking about? We see Kendal and Ren backstage getting ready for Kendal's championship match later, just in a few moments. But Jordynne Grace is with Thea in the doctor's office, and Thea is nursing this leg. She's like, I can't believe that happened. And she's pretty upset. And Ava walks in and says, I'm so sorry about that. I can't believe that happened. And Thea says, no, I still want the match. And Ava says, no, absolutely not. She's like, no, I banned her from the building. So Thea says, get her back. And Ava says, sorry, I don't award bad behavior. So I'm not giving her another opportunity. So Thea says, fine, then I'll defend it anyways. I want an open challenge. And Ava's like, I don't know about that. You just got beat up. And Jordynne Grace steps in and says, no, she knows what she wants. Give her what she wants. So Ava says, fine. So the open challenge, Thea Hale will defend her title later tonight against anyone who steps up.
Okay, was this
the most foreshadowing ever to lead to not this?
I was just going to say, was this script written a week ago? And then that's making me think that they write scripts a week in advance.
The first half of the show was like,
it was so set up for Jordynne Grace to answer the challenge and just murder Thea Hale, wasn't it?
Oh my god! Like, what? Ricky is like, "Hey, Oba, I'm gonna fight you. You're not getting that." And then Jordynne Grace is like, "Yo, you should fight.
You should put the title in the line."
Yeah,
and
wink, wink. We watch wrestling. We know what that means. we know what that means. We all saw it. Was like, "Oh shit! Okay, this is actually gonna happen." No, it's not.
Paul just like watching NXT, and then as soon as this scene happens, he just texts Sean. He's like, "You're not thinking of putting the title on Jordynne, are you?" He's like, yeah, that's kind of where the writing's going. No, she's SmackDown. Put it on
for me, brother.
Yeah.
It's going on my show. It's going on the real show, not your show, Sean. So this is going to lead to absolutely fucking nothing involving Jordynne Grace, because she's going to be on the main roster, as she should, don't get me wrong. But it's just weird that like 2 segments in the show are alluding to like writing it and spelling it out for you word for word. Oba, I want the rematch. It's 1-1. Hey, Jordynne Grace is like really pulling your leg here of like, yo, you should fight for the, you should, do an open challenge. Yeah. Ava, give her the open challenge, not to go answer it. Very funny. This show is fun. This was a funny NXT. Can you agree on that?
Yeah.
It made people mad, I'm sure. Like our listener Magan, our friend Magan. I'm sure he's steaming from a show like this, but it's funny. We go to our next match, the NXT Women's Championship, the champion on the line, defending Jacy Jayne against the Evolve champion, Kendal Gray. We got what is it? Gray Graps signs in the crowd here. Yeah. They love Kendal Gray in the Performance Center. Lainey Reed is there. Lainey Reed got a pose. You know,
does she? She doesn't just stand looking bored anymore?
You complained about since Jasmine Nix.
Yeah.
Ever since she left, she did the pose of like, hey, come here. No, get away from me. That pose. We missed that pose. So first few times of Lainey Reed has just been, she just stands there and stares at the camera. So she didn't have anything. She didn't have a move, you know?
Yeah. What did she do?
She did a little like almost Scott Hall-esque, Rascal-esque, like, hello there kind of thing. It's not as good as Jasmine Nix, but it's a start.
Hello there.
If you got the YouTube version right now, you saw me do this, but you know what I'm talking about? Like oh, hello, like casting a spell or something. But like Lainey is definitely more fitting into the role of Fatal Influence. I'll always mess that up. But yeah, her move isn't as good as Jasmine Nix, but it's a start, and maybe she can work that out. But Gray versus Jacy here. Kendal is all over her, countering all her moves, and is super fast, and then sends her out of the ring. And Gray hits this picture perfect moonsault to all 3 members. Like, I hate to use Charlotte as the analogy, but when it comes, it's easy to think of it like the Charlotte moonsault sucks because it's just her like doing a backflip landing on her feet. And people are supposed to sell it like it hurts. Whereas Kendal Gray just Kurt Angle moonsault onto everyone. And I loved it. So there is a difference in the moonsaults. And she nailed it here. Back in the, as she gets up though, Jacy gets up and slams her into the barricade and starts to beat on her back into the ring. The members of Fatal Influence who are ringside fist bump Booker T. And Vic Joseph questions Booker on this. Like, hey, aren't you supposed to be like a journalist out here? Aren't you supposed to be like a broadcaster? You're showing bias by fist bumping Fatal Influence, and you know they're not really nice people. And Booker just pauses and it's silent, and he goes, yeah, well, you're just jealous, and just starts yelling at Vic like, you're mad because you don't got it like I do. So he's like, yeah, all right, maybe you're onto something. There's Gray trying to fight back, a crossbody, and then there's strikes back and forth. There's the straps down from Kendal, and then hits a DDT. Jacy hits a neck breaker. There's a cannonball miss, and then a series of Germans. And then Jayne hits a huge V-trigger-esque knee to a Rose trigger, maybe, from Jacy to Kendal. I thought this was it, but she kicks out. I thought that was great. The crowd are waking up and chanting, this is awesome. There's a series of roll-ups here. She goes for the gray area, but that's blocked. And then there's flying arm bars. There's Fallon, who just gets in the ring here. And then Lainey pulls her out of the ring to break up that move. And then Ren gets involved. So then Jacy nails her. And then Fallon holds on to Jacy as Kendal is going for the gray area, the flatliner. So she helps her not get hit by the move. And the ref sees it, but is basically like, well, you didn't attack anyone.
Yeah, it was almost like the Oblivion she was going for.
Yeah,
like bouncing off the ropes. I thought this was a pretty clever interference, actually, holding Jacy by the trunk. So Kendal just takes a back bump here.
So she rolls over and then gets to her feet, and Jacy hits the rolling encore for the 1, 2, 3, and the air is sucked out of the PC. They were so behind the newcomer here of Kendal Gray. Even I was like, oh, I think she's got this, but I do think that was a creative finish, and I think having the buzz die a little bit here was kind of, again, it was another funny moment on this show. But the referees in NXT, like, is this? She didn't touch the other person. She just grabbed her,
and
friend
also just holding
her.
the trunks. Like, you could believe he couldn't see this.
But
I think,
but like, this woman straight up got into the ring seconds earlier, and he should have, you are out of here, you know, that kind of thing. So it's wrestling.
Or maybe he's been fist bumping Fatal Influence as well.
True.
You know?
Whoa.
You never know.
Yeah, exactly. I feel, though, you know, this is developmental, and with what's happened in the last few weeks, we got to remember that it's developmental for referees too.
Yeah.
You know,
so yes,
you know, that whole thing.
Yeah, I quite like the match. I like, we've been singing Kendal Gray's praises a lot, and I think in hindsight we were calling for her to win this. I'm actually not too mad. We do set up later. It looks like Sol Ruka's going to be the one to take this title off of Jacy.
Yeah,
and I think with the influx of people moving up, you need that babyface to get behind to, you know, chase the title. And I think if Kendal achieves that right away, you are losing that. And I think having Kendal screwed here, you know, you could potentially go Sol Ruka to Kalani and then Kendal chasing Kalani for the title down the line or something like that.
Yeah.
I also just think Jacy's been very solid in this role. I think all these women's matches, like, I'm not saying they've been match of the year, but I think they've all been pretty solid, the title defenses she's had. And I'm like, I see the chat going off about when they're moving up. And I agree. Like, I'd love to see Fallon and Jacy on the main roster, bring Fatal Influence to the main roster. But until you're ready for them and you have something planned, why not continue this going until Sol wins or whoever? And maybe that Fatal Influence can be a, like, post WrestleMania, post Stand and Deliver call up.
Sure. Like, absolutely. Like, here, the story is back to Fallon being 100% on board. Like, the team is solid again, even with Fallon, like, helping her secure the W is showing that, like, there's still this faction. And I think there is much more story and more juice with, like, a chase. And if we go to Sol Ruka, she should be NXT Women's Champ before she ever gets called up as well. And, like, Kendal Gray, this is the first big program on NXT TV for her, and she knocked it out the park.
She's like, great, fantastic.
Like, since that Iron Survivor, both Iron Survivors lost, by the way. The percentage is going down for future Iron Survivor videos, but both lost in their challenges, but in their title matches. But I thought this was awesome. I think she's really good. Like, Jacy, I kind of agree. Like, Jacy's never been the most flashiest, or maybe match of the year, or didn't even win Superstar of the Year, as she's angry at Sol later because she's like, I'm the champ and I didn't get that title. But she is, like, still pretty decent and has totally stepped up since being champion and two-time. But she's still kind of, I don't know, like, I would like to see Sol take it, and I would like to see Jacy and Fallon as a unit, and maybe Laney as well, like, go up together. I feel like she's better. They're better together. Almost,
yeah. I quite like what Big Time Baxter in the chat is saying. He says, I heard a pitch about Kiana James being added to a Fatal Influence to replace Laney on SmackDown. And with Julia being US champion again, like, it's not working. This Julia Kiana James thing is totally weird. But they're doing the open challenge with the men's title. It is something you could do with the women's title and have Julia kind of start getting over as more of a baby face, and Kiana and Fatal Influence turn on her or whatever. I like that. Like, that's a plan at least, and has them featured, right? Yeah. I quite like that idea.
And I think Kendal Gray will have a great time in NXT too. Like, if, again, off the two big matches that we've seen from her in NXT, like, she's going to be fine and could easily be in NXT, not even that long, a year or whatnot, before she's like doing this on the main roster as well. But I do think she's a lot of fun to watch. The wrestling is great, and she's with Ren right now. We also like Ren. She's a bit of a fan favorite too. So I kind of hope I like the pairing of them as well. But yes, we see NXT is on tour. They have a bunch of live shows. Of course, we got the Florida NXT Coconut Loop, but I see they're doing like other places like Nashville, Knoxville, some other places. And I wonder, do you still have like your Javon Evans or your Oba Femis? I don't think so. I feel like you're going to get a lot of the newer kind of cast and crew that maybe you're not super familiar with going to these shows, but these are real, like these are the independent ones. These are smaller ones. These aren't like PLEs or anything.
Yeah.
That is another thing. When's the next PLE? Is it a while so the stars can like get established for those? You know what I mean? Like Vengeance Day.
Yeah, Vengeance Day would be
Vengeance
next.
Day.
Yeah, so that'll be next month.
Like that's interesting. Like you're not going to have Oba, Javon. You'll have Ricky. You'll have Ethan Page, right? But yeah, interesting. We see
Oba,
women's
matches, I'm guessing.
Yeah, true. Oba Femi getting ready for his main event tonight against Leon Slater. We see Ava in her office, busy night for her. Ethan Page is in her office and she says, "Oh, the last person I want to see." And he goes, "Well, after my 12 title victories in 2025, and she kind of goes, "Oh, you mean like all these other superstars like Dom?" And she names a few others. And he's like, No, it's not like that. Anyways,
I thought he was very funny here because he was saying, "I've defended this, like successfully defended this more than like the most times in North American Championship history." And she lists the people that have equaled his record.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, I was trying not to embarrass you by telling you, reminding everyone of all those live shows I've defended this title."
See, you got to go to the NXT live shows.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
He'll be defending it on that loop as well. But he then says, "Well, anyways, I'm going to leave." And she's like, "What? No tantrum? You're not going to freak out? Something's on. What's the catch? What do you want?" He's like, "What do you mean? I just want to leave." She's like, She knows he's up to something. She knows it's sus. So he goes, "I'm just going to leave so that the boys can come on in." And she goes, "Oh, of course." So the Vanity Project walk in and they say, "Hello, Ava. I think we should talk 2026, boss," as they go to commercial. So our favorites, making it clear they will be featured on NXT a lot more this year. The Vanity Project, Swipe Right, and Jackson Drake.
This felt like a call up for them, which is good. We've been impressed by these guys, and the tag division certainly needs them. The men's division certainly needs them. They've got good personality. So yeah. But I like Ethan Page has been so good. Like everything you put with him, like is interesting. You see him with these guys and you go, "Oh, I like that." Like
he should be their leader.
Ethan Page is like, these are his minions. And then you got the stuff with Chelsea Green and you're like, man, this really works as well. Like I think he had such a great 2025 and he's one of those like utility players, I feel, that whatever role they want him in, like I can see him being used like they've used The Miz the last 20 years, but be a better version of it. Like you need him to be a world champion. He can be world champion for a few months. You need him to just be doing goofy shit and have a cake in his face on Thanksgiving or whatever, he'll do that. Like I feel he's really open to do whatever and just like is always entertaining.
So you're saying like instead of Miz TV, it's like Ego TV?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. The awesome Ego. Oh,
all
man.
That stuff.
Think of the tag team.
Yeah.
Oh my God. No, you're right. Like I think this last year he definitely stepped up, and I think out of all the call-ups, I think he could be okay, if he didn't get called up now at this free agency or whatever they're using these terms or whatever, but post Mania, like a Raw after Mania, he would just be like such a breath of fresh air for any program. Like have him promo battle with Punk, even like a big, like he could do it. I think he could be a big star on the main roster. So, and I like these guys. We've talked about Swipe Right, Brad Baylor, and the best name in wrestling, Ricky Smokes and Jackson Drake. And Ethan fits with these guys because they're like bro-y shitheads and they can wrestle. So we're already big fans of these guys, and we might see them a little bit later tonight, but we'll see. We get an announcement that Jackson Drake, the Evolve champion, is facing Sean Legacy. I think that's rematch, right? For the Evolve title on Tubi.
Tubi tomorrow, right?
So maybe he drops the belt. Look, we have main roster call-ups, but in 2026, we have Evolve to NXT call-ups. In 2025, we had TNA to NXT call-ups.
Yeah.
But...
So this match would have already been taped, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't read ahead, though. I don't read ahead on my Evolve Tubi spoilers, so...
I don't read anything about Evolve.
Come on.
They fill me in on Tuesday with what's going on.
Right, yeah. I think what they're doing, it's Tubi, which is cool and it's free, and they have great Japanese horror movies on Tubi. So always respect for Tubi. So check it out. We go to our next match, open challenge for the North American Women's Championship. Thea Hale comes hobbling out here into the ring, and she gets in the ring and sits down. She's taking a breather. She has a microphone and she goes, I know my win was controversial. Like, kayfabe wise, was it?
I was thinking the same thing. Like, kayfabe wise, she just won the match. Like, what is the controversy?
Yeah, tell me,
This
Thea.
was scripted. That I wasn't ridden to win this match, but it happened. Yeah, no, I agree.
Kind of breaking the fourth wall a little bit there. Like, I'm trying to think, kayfabe wise, in controversial fashion, Blake didn't kick out.
Yeah.
And you're champion.
Yeah.
Kind of weird that she said that. She then says, no one wanted the match against Blake more than I did. And I'm here. I promised you guys a match. So damn it, I'm going to give you a match because I need to prove that I am North American Championship material. So she says, whoever the first woman is to step into the ring can face me for the title. And that is when a plethora of the NXT women's roster come out. I'm talking all the stars. Nikita Lyons, Wendy Chu. Remember her? She wasn't in her pajamas. I was like, yo.
Wendy Chu's back. And Vic went, oh, that's Wendy Chu from Evolve. It's like, Vic, she's been here for
she's not in pajamas
time.
now. She's not in pajamas, and she doesn't have like Nightmare Before Christmas face paint on anymore. So I was like, damn, what? That's Wendy Chu? She was like all spooky and shit for years. But yeah, I recognize them. But there was all these other women in this trying to come out and fighting. There's a whole gang of, I don't know why people were trying to stop them, but like the refs were trying to stop them and no one could break through. There's just this big crowd of all these women bickering and arguing and trying to get to the ring when you hear vroom, 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 vroom. And out comes Tatum Paxley with her chainsaw and scares all these women to make, she's like Moses here, parting the women's division as she runs to go into the ring, and she holds up the chainsaw and she's about to get in there. But before she can she's putting the chainsaw down, and before she can get into the ring, Izzi Dame shows up behind Thea Hale and nails her with a big boot. And well, she's the first one. So Nico Vance and Sean Spears yell at the ring bell and the timekeeper and the refs and say, ring the bell. The match is on. So they do. Again, the referees making poor decisions in NXT yet again, but it is developmental for the refs. But wow, she just got kicked in the face again, but she asked for this, I guess. But Thea versus Izzi Dame. You know what? I needed more double dose of Izzi Dame matches tonight on NXT. So she beats down on Thea Hale. There's a flapjack, but Thea has a hope spot with a roll up, but it's only a 2 count. Izzi with her jumping code breaker, and then Sean Spears tries to get involved, and then Thea's there, and she's firing up again and tries to fight back, but then there's knees up from Thea's senton, so it's blocked, and then a boot to the face, but Thea kicks out. She sends Izzi to the outside, and one like last chance of hope, she goes for a tope, but it's countered, and she's choke slammed onto the table, and then it's her going into the ring, and then they're back up on the top rope, and Izzi hits a avalanche sky high for the 1, 2, 3, and Izzi Dame is the new North American champion. Wow, bet you didn't see that one coming.
I mean, no, I don't think anyone thought at the beginning of the night that Izzi Dame would be North American champion. I didn't really like this. I felt the match actually went too long. Now, I know maybe like commentary were trying to sell, Izzi's just had a match already, so both these women are weakened. But I think it would have been more effective for Izzi to have just, big boot, sky high, 1, 2, 3, and just almost like a cash in. Yeah, that kind of thing. I think that would have been way more effective and way more shocking. Whereas as soon as the match starts, like I'm there watching it going, oh, Thea's losing this. And therefore it didn't need to go for that length of time. And there was also again, kind of like the first match, like a lot of just like grinding down, headlocks, that kind of thing. And on top of that, I found Thea really aggravating the last couple of weeks. The sort of fake crying, the over-the-topness, she desperately needs to tone it down.
I agree.
Her overselling as she's walking to the ring, like hobbling and like hunched back and all that. It was way too much. Now, like back when I was acting, I always remember directors saying, I'd rather you do too much and I can tell you to tone it down than do not enough and me trying to get stuff out you. And I just hope she starts getting a bit of that direction. Like you can bring it down a bit because it's very over the top bad acting and it's starting to take me out of it. And it's starting to make me not like Thea Hale. I thought the promo last week was pretty horrible. And I thought this was just a continuation of that. And she has been someone I've liked in the past. So I think they need to figure things out. She's not just the plucky young girl in Chase U anymore. Like that chapter's already closed. Like, let's try and see a bit of evolution and maybe a little bit more subtlety in her performances.
The evolution.
Yeah.
That was bad. I think she was great in Chase U. We loved her so much. We were like, yes, win the title. And then they didn't. And then now I'm not sure what her character is. I really disliked the last few weeks of this version of Thea. And I'm not necessarily the biggest Izzi Dame fan either. She's not one of my favorites in NXT's women's division. And we got two matches that were very similar. She's doing like literally these exact same moves that aren't necessarily the flat. She could have done that Braun cutter, I guess, a second time as a finishing move. But like, I don't like the stuff with Thea. I don't like the stuff with the culling. I think that is some of my least interesting stuff with Sean, Nico, Izzi. Like the stuff with Tatum, I want them to move away, but then you have Tatum staring at Izzi. So clearly you got to have Izzi versus Tatum, the rubber match for the North American Championship. Now I'm sure that's a direction they will go, but
yeah, I feel that's where they're going. Yeah. I almost get the feeling that Izzi might like the culling might just quietly dissolve. You know, Izzi might just be more on her own and maybe Sean and Nico as a tag team, but I don't know, they felt a bit more distance from each other. I know they were out there, but just...
Well, no, he's the GPS, right? Vic now said, oh, Booker, you call him the GPS, but he's the one who got this done by telling the refs and stuff. So I don't know. It's actually one of my least favorite acts in the last year of NXT. And I can't say I'm excited about whatever kind of this is going forward, but yeah, we shall see. Like it was weird. They definitely were planting the seeds with Jordan Grace. And then you're moving so many pieces around with people leaving or going, I'm not sure. But then really trying to tease in wrestling terms like, hey, she should have an open challenge. And then like she didn't even come out.
Yeah.
So she's just that good of a friend, that Jordan Grace, that she didn't want this title. But literally I wanted Wendy Chu to win, to be honest. I was yo, get her in the ring. Let her in. Let her through. Like who else would you have rather than Izzi Dame win? Like Izzi's already been in this program. They gave Tatum the women's title. I guess this is like, hey, Izzi, you get something too, kind of deal. I don't know, but yeah, at least you were happy it wasn't Nikita, I guess.
Oh yeah,
you were shocked.
The less I can see of her, the better.
No, come on, we haven't seen her in a long time. I was kind of shocked that she was still there. I was like,
I'm like, did they just bring like? I hope there was a class today or something that why they.
There was. It was at the end of the episode.
Yeah,
it's literally at the end of the episode. It's not Chase U. It's literally Ava talking to NXT to Gracie High. Hey, there is a pour one out. There's another pour one out. We're gonna pour one out for Brinley Reese.
Oh, I did
that
see
she was released from WWE or her contract expired or whatever. But yeah, she was someone we haven't seen in a long time. Remember?
I think she's been in Evolve. I think, yeah.
She was in Evolve, but like the last on NXT was when she was with Idris and Malik, and like I don't think Idris is there anymore.
No, yeah,
so, interesting. Yeah, pour one out. I remember you didn't necessarily like her, but she was the energetic one. It was basically Thea Hale.
Yeah,
they were doing the same gimmick, but she was more into like exercise and breathing or something. Forget.
And In other news, pour one out for Alex Abrahantes finally.
Oh man, pour one out for Alex Abrahantes. Wow, like I will never.
What are the luchadors going to do now?
Wow, get over probably now, I guess. Like no disrespect, but like why does he have to be the voice or the guy to come out with the luchadors? Like one or two guys, sure. And I'm not knocking the guy. He's making a living, bless him. I know he does other stuff, but like as soon as he came out with certain luchadors, like their coolness factor just like dissolved. You know, like he came out with Bandito one time. I was like, get away from him.
Maybe this just means it's time to put the Lucha Brothers back together. Like the reason WWE haven't had the Lucha Brothers together so far is because they've been waiting for the third man, Alex Abrahantes.
Wow. Yeah. I could see him in WWE. He'd be fine. You know, like he could be the voice. Penta and Phoenix didn't need him either, but oh man, like he just really annoyed me on TV. He didn't need to be in so many guys. He didn't need to come out with all the luchadors are so cool. And somehow, like, I'm a dick for saying this. I'm sorry.
Oh
but
no,
I'm not the only one who thinks this. And again,
it was the way you'd always try to be in the shot. You'd have like Penta, like looking all cool and fire everywhere, and then Alex would be in like, yeah,
hey guys, like he's like that guy in the music video. Like
fuck off. Yeah.
No disrespect. I'm trying like hope people know we're not ever trying to say things with malice, but like that guy really annoyed
the character of Alex Abrahantes fucking sucks.
You pulling him?
That's what we're talking about. We're only talking about the characters presented on the screen.
That is totally fair. Like
nothing against the guy. Never met him. He might be lovely, but the character made no sense and shouldn't have been on TV.
The character is like he's the translator. Penta says it's like what? That is a terrible gimmick. That's not a good gimmick. If you came out and didn't say anything and you did like, I don't know, business deals or I don't know, use the screwdriver, what other managers do. Instead, you just came out wearing those jackets and gloves, and
the gloves
annoyed me so much. Oh. I know we're not alone on this one, but like still, I hate to go off.
He needed to be stopped. I mean, just look at this fucking guy.
Just like luchadors are so cool and somehow just managed to get the drip away from them somehow. Bless his heart though. I bet he's such a nice guy too.
Dressed as like Uncle Fester that time?
No, not at all. But go on.
When we had Penta Oscuro.
Right. Right. Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, put him on. He's going to AAA for sure. He's gonna be like he's gonna come out with the he looks like the dude with boobs on his head from Little Nicky. Kevin Nealon and Little Nicky is Alex Abrahantes. That's evil Alex Abrahantes.
Yeah.
Or it looks like the bad guy from Halloween Town. But yeah.
Coming to a Netflix near you.
Yeah, I could see him going to WWE. Like, I think they would put him with like some luchador or something like the Lucha Brothers, AAA. I'm sure there's something he can do. Like, I don't think this is the last we'll see of Alex Abrahantes. He's gonna Alex Abrahant us for many years to come. So bless his heart. Not knocking the guy, just the character was shit. What were we talking about again? What are we doing?
NXT.
I felt like a rant there.
Yeah.
So we're just mean. We're not trying to be. You can understand. We're nice people, I swear. So I'll buy him a beer one day. Where were we? I don't even remember now.
I think Vanity Project and Lola.
Varsity Project. That's a different group, right?
That was
something else. Yeah. Yes, we went to. Sorry, I completely lost where I was. So yeah, Izzi Dame is the new North American champion, and we'll see where that goes. But we go backstage. Vanity Project. They see Lola Vice watching TV. She was watching Izzi win the title, and she's a little upset. So the Vanity Project start creeping on over, and they go, "Oh, hey, Mamacita," and they refer to Jackson Drake as Dr. Thirst. As he says, maybe I need some Latina heat. And she seems not interested. When Hank and Tank show up and they call Vanity Project a bunch of creepers, and Vanity Project are like, the vibe's not it. Nah, hasta luego, mama. And they do her own thing to her, which definitely popped me. They then walk off, and Hank and Tank say, yes, NXT needed new resident douchebags. And she brings up, oh yeah, we have plenty of that. And then references Kalani Jordan, and then Izzi Dame and how she has a victory over her. So kind of referencing that, like, maybe she is in line for a title shot, but then starts going off on Kalani Jordan even more. When the camera pans, this felt like some sort of Love Island reality show thing. Like, she's like, yeah, Kalani Jordan sucks. And then it's like, you hear off camera, like, bitch, what you say? You talking about me? And the camera like pans, and you just see in like a door frame Kalani like taking off her shoes. Like,
it's the
hold
shoes.
my earrings.
I love this. The shoes coming off. What you saying about me?
You see this happen? Shit's about to pop the fuck off. So Kalani takes her shoes off, and her and Lola just start going at it here. So Hank and Tank and these refs are trying to separate them. And then Vanity Project, to add little nuances to their gimmick, they do exactly what those bro-y dudes do in this kind of situation. They film it. They're maybe not yelling World Star, but they're like right in there with like flash on and like, oh shit. And then like getting like the camera, like FaceTime shot of it. Like, look at this fight. So Ava then comes in and like separates this whole thing, and she's having a bit of a day. But Lola and Kalani. So Lola said before Kalani, like, I guess this is what upset her, said like, she's a gymnast with some attitude when I'm a real like fighter. And that's when she came in like, bitch, what you say? So we're going towards Kalani and Lola again, but also I imagine swipe right versus Hank and Tank, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I like that Kalani and Lola are having a little feud right now. I want big years for both of them. I think they've both been around a while. They're both pretty good, and if they're not moving up quite yet, I'd like to see them in the main title picture, the two of them.
Which? Kalani and Lola.
Kalani and Lola, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I like this feud. I like how it spawned from like the whole locker room stuff and all that. But then also like swipe right being the, like, again, the douche bags of NXT where they're going and hitting on people because they tried it the last few weeks, the Christmas gifts and stuff. So like we need the as Hank and Tank said in this segment, we need douchebags in wrestling, and they fit the guy's name is Ricky Smokes. And the other guy called himself Dr. Thirst. And then just look at Brad Baylor. I mean, now, come on.
I know we kind of did it last year with, what's her name? Carmen Petrovic and Ashanti.
Yeah.
But you got to have one of the, like, nice girls in NXT eventually end up with one of these douchebags, don't you? Like, it has to happen.
And she just doesn't see the error. Like, she doesn't see the red flags. That could be one of their finishing moves, the red flag.
The red flag.
Swipe. Well, I feel like they have names for a lot of
I don't like that. Like, I think the word vibe is just used way too much. But it's funny because I did use literally today. The vibes were off.
The vibes were off.
This guy walked into the bar, and I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" He walks right past me, sits down. I'm like, "It's kind of rude, kind of weird." Bring him the menu, and like he just is staring at it for ages. Then go over, take his drink order, and I'm thinking, right, I'm gonna cash and carry this guy because there's something off with him.
Sure.
So I get him to pay. He's like, "Oh, I'll pay at the end." I'm like, "No, we don't do that here. We need you to pay right now." And then he throws the receipt away, stands up. The guy had asked for a straw with his beer, by the way, which was a red flag, as you say.
Vibes are off.
And he just went off like, the way you treat me makes sense because this is Canada and Canada has nothing, and stormed out. And they were like, some customers were like, what was that all about? I was like, yeah, weird guy. It was like, did he pay? It was like, no, that's why I tried to get him to pay right away. The vibes were off. And they were like, oh, okay.
It is we're millennials, me and you, and like it is a sentence we say, but these characters are like Gen Zers, and like we're not necessarily bro-y dudes, but I like the fact that they said the vibes are off because it is legit something me and you say quite often. So the vibes are off, but I like these guys. Vanity Project. They might be my favorite thing now in NXT. Tell me what else we got.
Hey,
we got nothing else.
Like, they've been great. Every time they've been on the screen, they've been fantastic. Whether it's in ring or just these little segments, I think they've really like maximized that time, and we remember them.
Absolutely, I would swipe right. 100%.
Unlike pretty much everyone in the next segment we're going to go to.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh wait, we've got Joe Hendry first, don't we?
Oh yeah, good. That's good. Happy about that. Hey, isn't he a free agent? Isn't he on SmackDown? What's he doing here?
He had a little like Christmas feud with The Miz, but I don't know if he's back here.
Who hasn't had a Christmas feud with The Miz? Come on. So Ava walks back into her office and she says, finally, something positive, and it's Joe Hendry. And he goes, I'm actually not in a happy mood. I'm pretty upset about Dark State. They beat me up after I sang about them. So I want revenge, and I want Dion Lennox in a no DQ match next week. And I think she agrees to this. She's kind of like, I guess.
Yeah, so she told him she was like, you better try and find people to be on your side, because she makes it a no DQ match, and you know that Dark State will interfere.
Yeah, so no DQ. Maybe Joe Hendry's got some friends, though. Like, Joe Hendry needs a band.
Well, we'll find out in a couple of segments. Yeah,
true. Well, we go to Ethan Page in the ring, North American champion. He says last week he beat a TNA superstar, and now I'm a big game hunter because I bagged myself a moose. We have plenty of those up here in Canada, where Ethan Page is from. He then says he sent that lunkhead back to TNA, and then he calls out. He then says, like, I'm a North American champion, and I'm the real champion, unlike Oba Femi. So Oba's catching multiple strays that will completely miss him, I guess, by the end of this show. But he's calling out Oba. That's not who answers, because Jasper Troy comes out. Don't worry. Just follow along. It gets worse? ? He has a microphone. He goes, you're calling out him? Why? Everyone knows that I'm the best big man in NXT. Yeah. When Josh Briggs' music hits, Josh Briggs comes out. It's like, you were saying something about big men in NXT? Like, no, I'm like...
You call that a chain? Yeah. This is a chain.
So, yeah, he also has a chain. Yeah, he does have a nice big chain.
He had like 3 chains on today.
Josh Briggs Josh Briggs has a wallet chain. You just fucking know he does. But he was wearing like a red hoodie with the then black vest that he wears. I thought this was a better look for Josh Briggs, actually.
Sure.
If that makes sense. So he comes out like badass Undertaker in 02, and he's arguing. And then stop wasting your time with this guy, this mouth breather, Jasper Troy. And then they're interrupted. Oh, yeah, it gets better. Stax and Ariana Grace come out. Stax has a mic. He says, enough with this cannoli measuring contest. You see, we have some unfinished business. And I'm international as it gets, because I'm TNA International Champion. And you see, me and my title and my beautiful exotic wife are as big as it gets when it comes to stars. Yes, exotic. Mississauga, Ontario. Very exotic to some. But it gets even more exotic, maybe even erotic, because Shiloh Hill comes out, making his way from the dark web. He says, sorry I ruined your Christmas last week or a few weeks ago, but your father-in-law and Ava had a conversation, and your title is on the line next week against me. Do we have enough people in this segment yet? Okay, I don't think so. So you know what? Tavion Heights then interrupts and comes in and says, I just want in on this. I want a title. Fuck it. Jasper, I want to face you. So then he challenges Jasper Troy to the Speed Championship, because yes, Jasper Troy is the Speed champion. This is where
he won the tournament, right?
Oh, of course, right. I completely forgot about that tournament. Who could forget the 9-second match last week? Yes. This is when Paige starts to instigate here, kind of says like, oh, you're gonna let him talk to you like that, to Jasper, and everyone's kind of getting in everyone's faces, and then punches are thrown and everyone's brawling when we have everyone clearing each other out of the ring. Shiloh Hill stands tall and then is with Ariana Grace. And he dances with her a little bit. Dancing and wrestling, really popular the last few weeks. And then Ariana, he dips Ariana, and she kind of likes it a little bit, but then Shiloh's fake tooth mouthpiece falls out of his mouth onto her, and she freaks out, and Shiloh Hill is left standing tall. But what a segment this was. Oh my God. I didn't do it justice with this review. In fact, I think I was doing it a little too kindly, but I will say I did laugh when that tooth came out onto Ariana. I do think she reacted in a great way, but everything else I very much disliked.
Man, it was depressing because it just was like
a hit row of
this is the snapshot of the men's division.
Oh, boy.
But it also just didn't really, I didn't come out of here any clearer who Ethan Page's next opponent is. You know, Ethan Page is out there. You start with 3 heels come out in Jasper Troy, who I assume is a heel. I don't care. Like, we don't really know enough. Josh Briggs and Stax. And then the 2 baby faces who come out are not there to challenge Ethan Page. They're there to continue their feud with either Jasper Troy or Stax. So it just felt a weird segment because it felt like we were here to set up the North American, like number 1 contender for the North American champion. Whereas we don't have any sort of number 1 contenders match set up. We have 2 matches that are completely irrelevant to Ethan Page. There was a point where when everyone was bickering, I just wanted Ethan Page to just leave. Just be like,
yeah,
I'm not hanging out with these losers, and just leave. It was a pretty miserable look. It's unfair. There's stuff I like about Briggs. There's stuff I like about Stax. But man, just having this row of people come out, starting with Jasper Troy, and then you got Tavion in there, and it was miserable and just, a pretty pathetic show, I thought.
If this is our men's division, that is a sad looking cast of crew that we have left in NXT. Like, I'm sorry, but Jasper Troy being the start to come out here, you knew it was going to be bad. And again, I'm not knocking some. I think Stax and Ariana are doing some pretty funny stuff as a couple, and the TNA stuff. Sure, whatever, they've got that going on. But Shiloh Hill character is still so new and so fresh. I still don't really know what it is all about. Like, the jury's still out, I guess, because he's so new to TV here. But all the other characters, I don't care about any of these things. This was Ethan Page, like, way up here on this level, and everyone else just way
I feel
below.
It's almost disrespectful to Ethan Page. You know, he's doing all this fantastic work, and these are the scrubs he has to
Jasper Troy
potentially feud
Tavion
with.
Heights.
And I don't think, like, coming out of this segment, he's not going to have a match with any of these guys.
Very, very weird. So next week is Jasper Troy versus Tavion Heights, and then Stax versus Shiloh Hill. That's what is announced. But yeah, man, like, that doesn't make me want to watch NXT. I'm gonna, because it's our job, but like, that doesn't. Man, this happens all the time. They take our stars and look what they leave us with. Jasper Troy.
They better give Lola and Kalani like half an hour next week, because the rest of the show doesn't look particularly.
I'll tell you something. This French luchador, he better be lit.
Yeah.
Okay. We need. Where's Sonata? Who else do we got that we need? We need some free agents. Okay. Sign some. Get some AAA people. Just like we need some different people here. Okay. Like, this can't be the men's division going into this new year. Like, this is a sight to behold. Like, all these characters are the coldest characters in NXT lately. I mean, Shiloh Hill is new, but still, like, come on. I know this is a mid-card title, I guess, but
I feel you're going to have to bring someone down from the main roster.
I hate when they do that, though. They do it so cheesy, and like,
I know
the last few years, you mentioned the Ciampa stuff with Braun. I think of Samoa Joe carrying Cross, or
I think probably the more successful
Ziggler.
one was when they brought Finn back, because Finn Balor came back, and it was also a change of character.
He turned heel. Yeah,
it was also with an interesting crop of wrestlers for him to feud with who weren't there when he was in NXT, and he wasn't doing anything on the main roster at the time. But yeah, I don't like there better be some people in Evolve or LFG, or
I hope so.
Some free agents who we can bring in, but there's no one coming to my mind.
Is there free agents? Yeah, like you're not bringing who are new. Like the indies and wrestling has changed because it's not just WWE in town is the big show. There's a lot of other options for people, your AEWs and your, other things across the world. But we need to bring some people in. Like, look, Javon at such a young age was signed and he had already been wrestling on the indies. He wasn't like one of these track athletes or football players or whatever. Like he was working as a wrestler on the independents. And I think that is something we can go back to looking at. You don't just look at athletes. You can look at some other people because Javon felt like he was almost TV ready. They put him on NXT and he was having good matches right away. So we need that again. I don't need to see these football players doing football tackles and explaining to me they did this. I'm kind of over that. And I think we can do a good mix of that at least. Like, okay, Oba Femi was not a wrestler before this, and he's gonna hopefully be a big star. But like, there needs to be at least a bit of a mix up here because we need some. I can't watch Jasper Troy and Shiloh Hill.
No,
like, I need some substance. And already, I feel like again, NXT it's been raided by the main roster.
Being reminded that the Rascals contracts have just come up. I mean, we've only just lost Wesley.
Oh my god! Yeah.
They're not necessarily going to be your NXT title picture, but there's something of interest. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. We've got all the trailers coming out for season 2 of Unreal, and the line that sticks in my head and came to my head watching this segment was Triple H going about the women down in the PC, and he's like, they're better than the fucking men. They work harder, they wrestle better, they pick things up quicker. I feel it's really evident at the moment.
That Unreal season 2 looks like hot garbage. Yeah. That looks faker than Monday nights and Friday nights. Like we're gonna cherry pick the stuff that actually we want to show you. Because like I think if they don't show you the failure of the John Cena heel turn, like post the moment it happened.
Yeah. Like
I feel like that there was some stuff in season 1, but this trailer specifically just gave me the ick. Am I wrong? I was like, oh, this looks well, it's faker than the first season.
The knee thing with Seth, the truth stuff as well. Like, it doesn't look great. But no, I was talking about the line from season 1.
Yeah, I know.
I think to Helms, was it? Or talking about the women
for season 2 with a whole episode is about Seth Rollins faking the injury. Did they get John Pollock on it? Yeah. Cracking the code? Because
they fooled the world. They fooled the world.
Fooled everyone.
And Punk was so fooled for all 5 minutes of Seth Rollins' entrance that he lost the title. It didn't
end up matter. He didn't even need to be injured to do that.
No,
could have just.
Oh, we'll get there. Best and worst of next year.
Yeah, John Pollock ruined Unreal season 2. That's what he did. Way to go, John. Bring it up to him. But yeah, this was the first NXT of 2026. This is already front runner for worst segment of the year. Like whatever summit this was, Ethan Page is way above whatever this was. And we need some actual killers in NXT again. Javon Evans was a success. Wouldn't you be like, okay, screw it. Let's get young, talented guys. I mean, we go to indie shows in Toronto. Shout out Demand Lucha. Shout out Northern Crown. There's a bunch of wrestlers all over the world who are itching.
Yeah, Stallion Kid.
Stallion Kid. Oh, man. Yeah. Bryce,
yeah.
Nah, he is awesome. There's so many wrestlers out there that like they could give them a shot. If it doesn't work out, then look, they release people and whatever. But like to try new people is something they need to do. And I don't know, like showing me these are the cast of crew that we have to look forward to. Like next week's can't pop a rating with whatever they just promoted with Jasper Troy and whatnot. But yeah, I want more wrestlers in my wrestling, less whatever else they try to give me. But I feel like we're ranting tonight. This show was funny, but like I guess we're the NXT guys. We're your NXT friends, and like they took all the best parts from NXT. So it's going to be an interesting next few couple of weeks and months. But we go backstage. We see OTM when Joe Hendry is asking for help. He says, hey, I got to go up against Dion. He's got Dark State. I thought it's pretty funny that Joe is like, hey, you two are kind of big and scary, and I need to go up against a bunch of guys who are big and scary. So could you help me? And they go like, why would you even ask us? Why would you even do that? And he goes, well, you're badasses and you're intelligent, which means if you help me, you're one step closer to Dark State, which means you're one step closer to the tag titles. So OTM are like, interesting. At least I think that's what they said, but they said something along the lines of like, okay, that could work. So maybe Joe found some friends. It's Joe TM next week.
Joe TM. I like that. I thought Joe Hendry was actually pretty good here because they're like, I think it was Lucian Price was like, you've never even talked to us. Like, fuck off. What are you saying? He almost felt like a bit of a manipulator here. It's like, well, you know, you piss them off, you're going to get closer to that title. So I don't know how this match will be. Like, you know, Joe Hendry, a lot of the time, his gimmick is kind of takes over from the wrestling a bit, but like he's also had some all right matches, and Dion Lennox, I think could be good. Like this Dark State stuff hasn't worked, but with the plunder and stuff, this match could go either way next week.
Yeah, I guess we will see, but maybe they'll help him because they're baby faces now, I guess, because they fought those guys last.
I think they've always been baby faces, but just we've not liked them.
Yeah, I guess so. Fatal Influence are backstage, and they walk over, and we see Sol Ruka and Zarya, and they go, "Oh, well, isn't it the NXT Star of the Year, Sol Ruka?" And Zarya steps in like, "Don't you mean Tag Team of the Year too?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, 2 award winners, but I don't see 2 titles," says Jacy. She goes, "In fact, I don't even see 1." And Sol Ruka says, "Yeah, well, in 2026, I'm coming for you and that title." And then they go, "Oh, really? Thought you were a tag team." And then they walk off. And Zarya does look a bit concerned, like, "Yo, I thought we were a tag team." And Sol is like, "They're just jealous."
So Vengeance Day, Sol versus Jacy, and then Stand and Deliver, Zarya versus Sol.
I think Stand and Deliver, we have to like milk this Zaruka storyline all the way till then, because
and do it for the title.
You know, we are talking about all these characters and people leaving NXT. Stand and Deliver is WrestleMania weekend in an arena. They're going to have some stars and some story going into that. And I think Zarya and Sol doing that then could be the big thing. Yeah. What if Sol were to win the title and Zarya chases, or not quite sure, but
yeah, I think Sol wins. You have Zarya celebrate with her and then kill her.
But this is still more of Sol here. The little like sprinkle of a heel character. Because she's like, they're just jealous. They're just jealous. Like playing it off. Like, oh, yeah. I didn't just ask the challenge for the title. So I don't know. Maybe there's something there, or that's just like a red herring to really. Because Sol is definitely way more of a baby face, but need that surfer heel turn, Point Break style. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We go to Ethan Page backstage, and he walks by and he's upset because of the last segment when he sees Miles Bourne talking to someone. It's Tate Wilder. At first I thought they were going to tell me this was another NASCAR driver, but this guy's from Evolve.
Tate Wilder
from Evolve. Sorry. I don't watch a whole lot of Tubi, but I do respect it, and I think it's cool that they're integrating it into the show. And Ethan sees them and then walks by and goes, "You know what? Where the hell were you?" And he goes, "What? Yeah. Keep your mouth shut. You weren't out there." And he goes, "Yeah, it was none of my business." He goes, "Yeah, you're right. It was none of your business because it was for champions and challengers. And apparently you aren't either of those. Do you hear me now?" And then he walks off. And Tate Wilder says, "Hey, man, don't let that guy bother you." And Miles says, "Too late," as he walks off upset. So, yeah, Ethan Page stirring the pot with a whole lot of characters. I mentioned Sol Ruka. He did that a few weeks ago as well. But
I almost thought Ethan Page was, you know, showing a bit of tough love here, almost being like, he was like, "Whoa, what was I doing in the ring with all those scrubs when you're back here and you should be challenging me?"
Yeah,
it's kind of.
He was like, "I was waiting for you. Where were you?"
Like, yeah, you should be my challenger, not these guys. Like, it almost felt babyface in a way, and yeah, I guess this is the direction we're going. Need to see. I actually quite liked just Miles's calm response of too late, but want to see a bit more evolution with Miles if this is the feud we're going to.
Yeah, like Ethan Page has been sprinkling this like, you know, devil on the shoulder gimmick with some characters for the past few weeks in NXT, and I like that. It's like, hey, look at you. Why aren't you the one? It was almost like I was expecting you to come out and challenge me, and you didn't. So you're just as big of a scrub as these guys, essentially. But yeah, Ethan Page is the one character we still have in NXT that I think, like, we already have Ricky and him. Were they ever a tag team, or did they feud? I forget. They feuded in NXT. I think I said this when they feuded. Like, oh, they were a tag team. I think they had like a tag team match, and I was just like, yeah, they're the tag team. But I was wrong. I think Ethan Page is above a lot of the stuff in NXT, and I'm not sure. Again, we need a cycle in of some different people, and I don't know. Miles, we've seen Miles put in the world title picture in 2025. Yeah. Like, I don't know, we'll see if they can get something out of him bigger than what we've seen already. But we go to the main event of the evening, the NXT Championship on the line. The champion, Oba Femi, defending against TNA superstar, TNA wrestler, and X Division champion, 21-year-old Leon Slater. It is not title v title, but it is just for the NXT Championship. When we come back from commercial, we get a great shot of Orlando for this big opportunity. I always think of Leon Slater's theme song reminds me of, I think it's our friend Sam who pointed out, there's an ASAP Rocky song that it is Ghetto Symphony. This intro, his theme song is like identical to this ASAP song, but it's sick. But what do you think of his flary gear, almost like Power Rangers disco-y kind of thing going on with Leon?
In general, I'm not a big fan of like baggy pants in wrestling.
Right.
They don't really do it for me, but they kind of work for him.
Like eventually, you know, he's only 21. Eventually, maybe he grows into like wrestling tights and stuff like that. But I don't mind his look, but I kind of know what you mean. But I like his theme song though. Oba Femi standing tall against Leon Slater. It's David and Goliath here, and Oba just throws this dude across the ring. Like this was Hulk Hogan throwing Shawn Michaels in SummerSlam 05. Like Leon went flying here, and then he gets up to get in Oba's face, and Oba then just chops him. And then did Oba drink some water? Because he spits out like Triple H after chopping, leaving a handprint.
Oh,
on him.
That first slap across the chest was so loud. Gunther-esque.
Yeah, very huge chop from Oba, letting him know this is a big time, boy. So Leon tries to come back. He hits a spinning back kick. There's like attempts to try to jump over at Oba, but again, he just keeps beating him down. There's a big lariat, and then Oba flexes his pecs here, basically like this is too easy. But Leon comes back and surprises him with a code breaker. And then there's more chops. And then Leon manages to send Oba's knees into the ring post. I think Oba goes to knee him, but he moves out of the way. And you just hear this nasty thud. And then now it's Leon who does some, I don't even know how to describe this, some Spider-Man stuff here where he double jumps to escape Oba chasing him, does like a kip up to then send Oba knee first again, this time into the steps. And then now he's doing all these moves, a crossbody, but then he's shut down again with a choke slam. So every time Leon gains momentum, it's just the big Oba like swatting him out of the sky, essentially. I love the dynamic of just this guy flying all around, like similar to we've seen Oba with like Javon Evans and the smaller wrestlers who do a lot of the high flying. But this was then like Leon with this huge hope spot, body slams like Andre and Hogan in the middle of the ring. The crowd here at the PC are losing it. And then he sends Oba to the outside after this body slam, who's recouping. And Leon does his huge over the turnbuckle swanton dive onto Obi. This was crazy.
Yeah, I love this move. When Wesley used to do something similar, always jumping over the turnbuckle, just looks fantastic.
Crazy looking spot here. He gets Oba back in and he goes for the swanton 450, but Oba gets the knees up. And as Oba goes to pin him, he counters Oba with a crucifix for a 2.999. I bit on this. I was like, oh, as did everyone here.
The crucifix pin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very good near fall.
As the ref counts 2.9, they both get to their feet and he jumps up in the air at Oba, but Oba Femi catches Leon in midair, power bombs him to the mat. It made a splat noise of how hard he hit the fall from grace, and Oba Femi pins Leon Slater to retain the NXT Championship. But what a fun, fast-paced match. I mean, we've seen, like I said, when Oba faces someone who can fly around and he's kind of like King Kong swatting the helicopters. It's such a dynamic that I like to see. And I think that works best for someone like an Oba Femi and a Leon Slater when he's got this base god essentially to work with. But I thought this was a really fun main event. And I love Leon Slater. Can we have him here? Can we trade them?
Like, yeah, when's his contract up?
Someone else? Yeah. Leon, please come to WWE because wow, really love this dude.
Yeah, really fun match. You're right. Like this dynamic, Oba Femi against your high flyers, it always works. And looking forward to seeing him on the main roster against, similar people, your Ray Phoenixes, your Dragon Lees, your Nathan Frazier's, all those kind of guys. I think they're the most fun matches you can have with this guy. And yeah, I'm not overly surprised. Like Leon Slater isn't a WWE contracted wrestler, so I'm not overly surprised he didn't win this. It is a little baffling, as we said at the beginning of the show, that we didn't just have Ricky be the champion or whatever. I think Oba, he's one of the few people that you could maybe do this vacating the title of, but I think if he was going to vacate it, he shouldn't have lost the title in the first place. Like Asuka's run, when Asuka had the title so long. And I think it always affects whoever's the next champion. Because I remember Ember Moon on the title after Asuka, and it was like, well, you lost to Asuka like 2-3 times, and now you win it.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult thing because you want to debut someone, especially someone like an Oba Femi. You want them to seem like an unstoppable monster. So, and therefore you don't really want to have him lose, but it's weird that we had him lose a couple of months ago. So it's the nature of NXT, as you said earlier. Like it's obviously things are being moved around all the time. We want this guy, we don't want this guy. And it does affect booking at times. And this was one of those things. But match in isolation, I thought was very fun.
Yeah, a really fun match. It gave me hope spot. I mean, we were joking last week that like it would be cool and awesome to have such a flip of Leon winning this, but like realistically, we didn't think it was something that was going to happen. But we wanted it to. We were rooting for that. It would be such a shakeup. So you're telling me you could have done something so daring, so shocking, never been done before, but instead the guy wins and then vacates the title. Like I hate that. Like, okay, it didn't need to be Leon Slater, and maybe you didn't know when Leon won this to get this, whatever. But like, the guy's vacating. I guess I'm jumping ahead. Let me finish what else they air at the end of this program before we talk any more about it. Because Oba Femi wins the match, and after the match, it cuts to Ava backstage, and this is like gym class in the 90s here because she brings in a TV like back in the day on wheels. Like, look, we're watching NXT. I feel like this is Degrassi High, Saved by the Bell. And she's got this whole next crop of the PC wrestlers. Like I'm talking about NXT Evolve, people we don't necessarily know or people we haven't necessarily seen on NXT, but all like the up and coming superstars, the next generation, you could say. And Ava says, we've lost Lash, Trick, Jordan Grace, Javon. Am I missing some people? I feel like there's a few others. Lash Legend, Trick Williams, Jordan Grace, Javon Evans.
And she said, and more to come.
More to come. They've officially moved up, and this opens space for NXT call-ups. See, so there is officially now NXT call-ups as well. She is talking to them when Mr. Stone butts in and interrupts. Ava, you got to see what Oba just did. As she leaves and the camera cuts back to the ring and it is all dark with a single spotlight on the NXT Championship laid out in the middle of the ring. what could this mean? And as the camera pans, you see through the crowd someone going through the NXT audience, staring and looking at this title as NXT goes off the air. But that man is Tony D'Angelo, who, thinking back, beat Oba on that huge North American Championship reign and could have easily beaten Oba in this new feud that we could have had. Instead, the title is vacated, so it is, alas, another match we won't go to. But very, very confusing. I laughed out loud. I laughed. I went, I can't believe that is how we're going about things, especially now. But yeah, so Oba Femi, I guess, is that other character and wrestler moving up to the main roster very soon. Free agency, as they say.
Like, I disagree with people saying Leon Slater should have won.
I was just saying, like,
I want to start with that because I think just perception-wise, Oba Femi, he's a guy that I think they see as being WrestleMania main eventer, WWE
big
champion,
deal.
like a big, big deal. And if you're debuting him and you find out, oh, he lost to a skinny 21-year-old lad who works for TNA, you'd be like, why am I taking this guy seriously?
I'm not saying that Leon should have won, even though I was like, oh, fuck, I hope he does, because like that would be cool and it would shake things up. I think if it was anyone put in that position and the guy is going to vacate, that person should just win or plan the next match to give it to Tony D'Angelo if you're going to do that. But like to have Ricky start the show and say, we need the rubber match.
Oh,
and then we don't get that.
Like,
and then like, okay, Leon Slater, like Oba Femi, before he was undefeated for a while when he actually was on TV and lost like a few times. And he was like, before he was the Oba Femi character, but they try to erase that from history of like, oh wait, no, that's not the Oba Femi. This is like the different character. Whereas I don't know if people would necessarily be like, oh, this guy from TNA, blah, blah. Like most WWE fans, I don't think they even watch TNA. Most don't even seem to watch NXT for the matter of fact. So I know what you mean. Like Leon Slater, yeah, he totally should not have won. But I'm saying it sucks when it's a vacated title because it's like, just give it to someone.
But I think
to win. Like
I think to it, like, I think if you want to use it as part of his gimmick where, he moves up, he never lost to Ricky Saints in the first place. He had this epic long title reign and then vacates it. And he moves up being like, I mean, you have the asterisks, you have the Tony D loss, but I only lost once in NXT. And as NXT champion, I never lost. It justifies it being vacated a bit more. Instead, he's vacated it, 3 weeks after winning this title?
Right.
So why bother? Like, why bother? Or you capitalize with the Ricky Saints heel turn and Oba never won it a second time. It's just really bizarre. I don't think Leon should have won. Like, I like Leon Slater a lot, but I don't think optics-wise it looks particularly good when you're trying to have this big monster Oba Femi move up. And also, there wasn't story. Like, he won the Iron Survivor and had the match. That was pretty much this story.
No, he didn't win the Iron Survivor. Javon won the Iron Survivor, and then he lost his challenge.
Okay. So,
and there was a 4-way after. Yeah.
Even less story then. So... Whereas Javon at least has had that year's worth of story. Obviously, he's moved up, so he's not going to win it. But it's just all a bit odd. And you just got to...
So weird.
I wonder, I'd like to know when they knew who and what and when are moving up. Because, like, that's the only
sloppy.
That's the only excuse I'll give it. Like, it's... this is just messy.
We complained, like, if you look at wrestling, ring, bell to bell in ring in WWE, it was a really good year. If you cherry pick, there was some good matches in WWE. Of course, there was a lot of bad stuff too. But if you cherry pick, this year was a solid year of like some good matches. But when it comes to stories and angles and creative, it was bad. It was so bad. And I think this is another case of that. Like NXT necessarily hasn't been this super creative show. In fact, it's been hella lazy too. And like I said, we're used to this watching this show. If you actually watch NXT for all these years, this happened before where all of a sudden plans change, people are yanked for whatever reason. I don't understand if you have plans for these people, like you can still have them lose a title or have a last match or a goodbye. Like I feel like we don't have that in NXT. Like we used to have those goodbyes, but I don't know, maybe things are different, but you had so many like virtue signaling of like, this is what's going to happen. And they did it to try to swerve you. But the swerves are like, why would Oba just vacate the title? Why can't you just have him not like, is it because he's going to show up in the Rumble? Is it like is he going to win the Rumble? Then who cares if he's still NXT? Like, then what about Jordan Grace? She had a whole story that we thought was just pulled. It's like, okay, Trick, he's been someone we've been waiting for to go up. And we did talk our piece about him on our Sunday show about how we think the gift of gab and his fur coats is already going to take him where he needs to go in WWE. We think he could go pretty far, but it's just weird. Like, I feel like we haven't had this. We've been begging for people to be called up because we think they're good enough to be stars, but they just do it this way. Isn't that like so lazy? Isn't that so like shitty to be like, yeah, Oba's actually just vacating the title? It's like, man, just this is a fake show. Like, plan it. Like, how hard is it? Like, it's
actually the only sort of you don't know when these moves were made, right? Like that is the excuse I'll give for NXT. Where main roster, there's no excuse when this shit happens. But NXT, at least, it could have been. Yeah, I don't know. We've been running the Oba vignettes for a while, so I feel they knew he was moving up. It really doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
So Tony D'Angelo stares at the title. That is exactly what you said. Remember, like, Asuka vacated it, and then Ember won, and then Ember was like, "I'm the champ," and it's like, well, you didn't. Is that the same? Like, Tony was the one who ended Oba's streak in NXT and won the North American title, and then Oba became NXT champion, and they kind of left that stone unturned, and then they teased it just recently with him coming back, and then like now he just stares at the title. So Tony D'Angelo world title run in NXT is what's our future coming soon.
I'm not really interested in any of it. Tony D'Angelo chase, like, this title should just be on Ricky Saints as soon as possible, but we desperately need other. So what are we doing, Ricky and Tony? I don't know. None of it sounds particularly interesting to
Ricky
me.
versus Jasper Troy again. We could run that back for the NXT title, but Ricky's a heel now, so Tony's going to be a babyface, I guess, with his Bane jacket. I don't know. It's all. I'm happy that a lot of these characters that we've watched and wrestlers, people we've watched, like, move on and try to go on to WWE and make that bag, get that bag, make that money. But this show just not my the vibes are off for the next few months of NXT, to be completely honest. We got bunkered down. We got to grit your teeth and be prepared for what's to come. We got to go through those trenches yet again. We've done that before. We've been through plenty in NXT through the years, plenty of trenches. We can do it again.
I think some of the difference right now with the men's roster is, even in 2.0, like right at the beginning of 2.0, I think, as bad as a lot of that was, you look at a guy like a Bron Breakker and you go, oh, I understand it though. Like, this guy, if he can get good, will be a star. Like, once, Ricky and Ethan Page have moved up, I look at this men's roster. I can't see any of these guys on the main roster. I can't see any of these guys as future world champions. Which I can't really think of a time for a while it's been like that, where I just don't really have faith in any of them.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, we could be pleasantly surprised, and maybe they got some aces up the sleeve. You could, like you said, you could always bring people down from the main roster who aren't really cooking up there right now. And I don't know, but this episode. Okay. I liked Leon and Oba, and I liked Kendal Gray and Jacy Jayne. I thought they were fun matches. So at least I actually got some wrestling on my wrestling show, but there was a lot of other stuff on this show that made me just made me laugh, made me question my sanity, and made me question the next few weeks and maybe the next few months of programming. Like, they do have PLEs. They do try to venture out, and it could be hard when they don't have Oba Femi on the card, or Javon, who they've been building up pretty well for this show, all to just be taken away pretty quickly. So I guess we will see. So maybe you'll be in the trenches with us in the next few weeks. We'll always be your NXT friends. We made it through 2.0 and the paint splatter. We can make it through anything. Okay, so next Tuesday we'll be back here too. Don't you think we're quitting on you? Because we ain't ever gonna quit on you. We're your NXT friends, and we'll always be here. So
yeah,
there you go. That wasn't a very reassuring. Yeah, that was the
yeah. No, we always will, always have, always will.
Yeah, you're really excited about Jasper Troy and Shiloh Hill, and
just like, I mean, this was mainly women's matches on this show. Like, let's do more of that. Just.
Like, okay, we have the AAA thing, TNA.
Get rid of the men's tag titles. We don't need them anymore. Bring in the women's tag titles and like let's.
We don't even have tag teams really. Like we got like 2. I don't know. Like we need more tag teams in men and women in NXT. Like I'm trying to think. Since AEW, like people, there's once someone gets buzz on the indies, they're quickly signed. Is that not how it kind of goes? Like we need some like heavy hitters, and I'm not necessarily like I was joking Sonata or something, but like we need up and coming people. We've seen Evolve, the WWID thing. I'm not sure if that was a bust or not, but we've seen them, Sean Legacy, the Evolve. He's someone he could be featured way more on NXT TV. Jack Cartwheel, we see a lot at Demand Lucha. He's someone who's been on Evolve in AAA. Like we could see a lot more of him on NXT. So I don't know. We need a big shakeup needs to come. And I guess it starts with the French luchador. And I'm in. Like, please just
strap him up.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. They do that in France, right? Yeah. So do we have any feedback from tonight?
We do, from Megan, who seems very happy tonight, says, I couldn't hold my tongue for much longer. The 2 key title matches were good, but NXT is still stuck in a holding pattern. Yeah. Oba pulling an Asuka by leaving the NXT title on his way out. Tuesdays aren't going to be fun for a while. I weep for this show's future. Unless they can score a free agent or 2, shit's looking bleak as fuck. I am not being dramatic.
It sounds a lot like you're being dramatic. Thank you, Megan. I appreciate it. I just knew certain people, like our friend Megan there, would be upset. Like I do think people would be like, what? Why? And then another, what? Well, there was a few head scratching moments on this NXT, so we'll see where we go. But we're trying to remain positive. Okay, I feel like we may have been negative on this show, but
hey, let's look at the silver linings, Megan. Jacy Jayne is still your women's champion.
Is he happy or upset about that? I'm not sure. I think Megan just literally votes for the baby faces. He watches wrestling, like goes for the baby faces and hates the heels. So
yeah,
the way it should be. Really,
they're doing their job well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, all right. Well, bear with us the next few weeks. If you're a real one, you'll join us next week, or you'll join us this Sunday. We are up next, but we also go by Poison Rana Pod. Search us in your Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and your YouTube or podcast app. Give us a follow. Like I said, we went live on Sunday. We did our whole Wrestle Kingdom. We also talked about some AEWs and some SmackDown and everything else in the world of wrestling. We will be live this Sunday, 2 p.m. on the Poison Rana YouTube, talking about some SmackDown, some AEW, and more. And then on the Patreon, we got our Best Match Ever 2025 Part 1 on Wednesday, recording Part 2 Sunday. And then we're joining John away for Best and Worst of for Post Wrestling. We got tons of shows, and we can't do it without the postmarks out there. So thank you, everyone, and Poisonrana.ca for all the links. And we'll be here next week. We'll never quit on you, okay? We won't be John Cena. We won't give up, and we will power through NXT. Long live NXT. We are NXT. It started with a whisper, and it still going. All right? Okay.
Let's get out of here.
Take care. Goodbye. Be safe, and go Ace.
Goodbye. Ahoy!